Listen, listen, listen. Some of you did not understand the assignment because it was send me a couple pictures of your display, not every single picture that you can take of every figure you've ever collected. Anyway, welcome to Monday Night Tour Rambles, where I will ramble on for approximately 3 hours. Hell, I may go 3 hours with the amount of pictures that were sent to me. But you know what? I'm not going to complain because, well, it's more interaction than the first time I tried something like this, where I asked people, hey, let's do something. Send me stuff. I give you a week. And I got like 3 submissions. This time I got, I think, 20 submissions of people's displays. Some people went from 1 to a few pictures. Other people sent me like 35 pictures. I think we're going to start calling them 35-star draw. But anyway, no, I'm not joking. There are 2 people that sent me so many pictures. I had to delete pictures to get them all to fit on just one slide. Just one PDF slide, because that's all StreamYard would take. But anyway, I'm not going to complain. I mean, I'm not going to complain. Anyway, thank you. I hope you guys all had a wonderful weekend. I hope you guys, at least most of you, got to enjoy your holiday weekend. I know not everyone is off, so to all the people that got it off, like myself, I hope you did something enjoyable, or maybe you got to sit in front of a computer for the whole damn day doing stuff for YouTube, whether it be new videos, whether it be doing stuff for another channel where you review movies, or you're putting all kinds of crap together for slides when you're trying to figure out what's the best way to go with it. But I had a long weekend, interesting weekend. I recently talked about having to get my roof done. They came and did the roof on Saturday and a Sunday. A lot of banging. Sometimes it sounded like they were in the house, I guess, and technically they were. So they were up there on the roof. Unfortunately, I needed more paneling than they had anticipated. So hey, you know what? I'd rather the roof be done properly than someone try and half-ass it and be like, hey, we can kind of, we can probably, save this board. No, you know what? Just replace the damn thing. So the roof got done yesterday. We, myself, my daughter, and her mother, we went to the Renaissance Festival, which was fun. I gotta say, like that's a workout in itself. I don't know if anyone else has been in the Renaissance Festival, and I don't know if you have, what yours is like. I know here in Michigan, there's no nice flat ground. It is hills, rocks, because it's supposed to be like the Renaissance. But again, had a lot of fun. Very enjoyable. A beautiful day. Again, we're here in Michigan, and this is where you're starting to get that beautiful weather, right? The beautiful weather. It was like in the 70s. Of course, we stopped to sit down and watch a show, and it was the time that, let's just say the sun was just beating down on my neck. I would say I got lucky by having a nice proper tan. It's probably the reason why it doesn't feel burnt today. And then after that, on the way back, we stopped at a mall. I can't believe malls are still around, but this mall is not only busy and packed for a Saturday for the last 2 hours, but they have a Toys R Us in there, and someone had sent me a picture saying, hey, check this out. Great Lakes Crossing has a Toys R Us. It's about to open. We stopped in there, and I have to say, it's nice to see Toys R Us coming back. It's disappointing that Toys R Us is now like a KB Toys. And that's exactly how I felt going into it. A small little place in the mall, very few G.I. Joes, literally one peg of Masters of the Universe, a bunch of Funko Pops, as you might imagine, Legos, that type of stuff. But hopefully it's something that can kind of, who's ever doing it, kind of rejuvenates Toys R Us. It's never going to be what it was, unfortunately. There's never going to be the big box stores, or maybe there may be some from, here and there, but it's disappointing. But it's nice to see a Toys R Us. But this mall was packed. I mean, it was packed till 6 o'clock when it closed. Then we headed home and, had dinner, got home, got to kind of look at my new roof. It was dark by that time, to be honest. And then I sat down and I started doing this project, this episode that I talked about, that I said I wanted to do. Hey, I put it out there on Monday. A bunch of people had sent me pictures. By Tuesday, I did it in a community tab. I thought that would kind of be it, but they have been sprinkling in. So if you're sending it in right now, don't bother. I'm not going to try and do it. It's all the slides are put together. We may do this another time, do something different. Maybe do something like this for the streamathon. Who knows? And then today was literally wake up. I had to go grocery shopping, that fun stuff. I finally did a couple retro reviews. I'm so behind. So all the people that have been watching the retro reviews that maybe have been waiting, I apologize. It's summer. It's been nice. I've been trying to do other things, get out of this house. So unfortunately, I got way behind. So I think the rest of the week and into the weekend, I don't think I have much coming in, or anything for that matter. Hopefully I can kind of catch up, because I know some people are expecting a few bigger vehicles coming down the pipeline soon. But yeah, then I sat down. We did the TV terminal. If you're not watching that, we watched episode 4. This is the second week we're doing it. Episode 4 on the TV terminal of the Terminal List, Dark Wolf, and it's fun. So please, if you haven't yet, head on over there, hit the subscribe button, watch that. Again, we've had a lot of fun doing that. But I've been kind of messing around with this. I talked to Woody for a little bit, talked to Krusty Old Crow a little bit. Just, chatting with a few people, trying to break up the monotony. So anyway, we got 63 people watching right now. Please hit that like button if you haven't. But I think it's time to say hi to the chat. We're going to do our best. I'm going to do my best to get through everyone. But first, I gotta clear something. So you know what? I'm going to play a quick little clip just because.
Oh, hey guys, welcome to the 36th hour of Punk with Toys for Tots Streamathon, yeah! So we all know Lawrence, sometimes he can be a little bit sassy. But for the next 36 hours, Lawrence, he's raising money for Toys for Tots. And so he's going to take all the money that this channel makes, so through your super chats and your super stickers or the memberships or all the monies, guys. And he's going to use that to go to Sergeant Reds and buy toys and donate them directly to Toys for Tots. But don't worry, you don't have to just watch Lawrence for 36 hours. He's bringing actually a lot of friends to come help. A lot of great content creators like Allison Troy, Punks on Film, Osterdom's Toys Clubhouse, Helido Toys, and just a whole bunch more, guys. And you can support just by sending a super chat or becoming a channel member, or even maybe just reaching out to Lawrence with a direct donation. There's also a note here from Lawrence. What does that say? It says, tell them I'm not just going to buy G.I. Joe figures and gridiron stuff with the money. So we got 36 hours, guys. So let's go ahead and grab our favorite can of spicy barbecue Pringle chips and just sit back and enjoy all the amazing content.
I just picked one so I could take care of a few things. So anyway, let's get into this. We have Triple D's Dungeon, which is Daredevil Dave saying, don't worry, we are still waiting patiently for your stream. This was at 7:40. Believe me, I'm not coming on that early. And then he dropped in here with a Triple D's Dungeon member for 9 months saying, I've been waiting patiently for 9 months. So you know what I think I can give you quickly is a
fucking Phil Collins.
All right, I'm going to try and get through this. As I say, I don't highlight these. I just go through them. So we got Krusty Old Crow, Mike Gold, MTC, SES Dog, Men, who's and Ultra Match. We have Dustin Blair. We have Beardy McBearderson, who may or may not have sent way too many pictures, and I had to cut it down. But that's fine. I'm not going to complain. Snow Wolf, Evil Dookie, who was my guest last week on Thursday with a friend. If you haven't watched that one, please go check it out. But don't do it right now because you're watching this live, right? You don't want to miss here. We have Eric Thurman jumping in here, Machine Man, Woody 222, the Figure Addict. I talked to this guy for probably an hour today on the phone, kind of letting you in on a little bit of stuff. And you know what he always gets? That's right. He always gets that. He used to send a super chat to get that, but he's too good of a friend not to give it to him every time that he's here. 3-star drawl is in the house. We have David R. U.S. Combat Dojo. We have Matthew Matson jumping in here, and you know what he loves to hear, and that is a nerd. We have Len fucking S. Len Scrivenich. I think I figured out how to say it, but I still can't think that fast on it. We have Action Figs, my other moderator, Ed jumping in here, Jay Astro. We have Izzy Trevi, who is the last person. Wait, did he get his name in? Who sent me it? Someone sent me in. I don't know. G.I. Jetman has joined us. We have Rowdy Ryle saying howdy. MTC. Woo. All right. We have Toy Matrix is jumping saying, yo, chat, yo, punk. I just got Walmart bookcases. They're freaking toys. Got Walmart bookcases. They're freaking toys. I don't know what that means. Am I missing something? What am I missing? We have Coda 514. I don't believe that I've ever seen you. And if you have, I apologize. If not, welcome. Boba Fett Gaming is here, Backwood 78. We have Gun Bunny Customs. Gun Bunny, I did not forget about the text that I sent you and you responded. I'm going to get to you, and don't worry about it. I'm not asking for anything for those guns. I'll send them out. But I want to talk to you about the 36-hour streamathon shortly. I got to get that. I have to get that situated fairly soon. Okay. Whew. There's Paul Morales. Did I say your name? I feel like I did, or maybe I just saw it. Joe Van 84. Kenzo's Creations jumping in here saying evening punk and chat. Whew, my goodness. I'm just kind of scrolling through here, see if I missed anyone. There's 610 Yojo Daddy. Still a weird name, the way that it's all just put together. And then we have no. You are not Rachel. You cannot change your name and expect me not to know that you're not Rachel. You are not Rachel. All right, we're leaving it at that, Carlos. Anyway, Carlos Salinas has joined us. Look, and there I am highlighting my TV terminal that we're doing. Bobby Wool jumping in here saying my daughters never believed me that there used to be a toy store the size of Target. There used to be two. There used to be Children's Palace, or some people had, it was Children's Palace and Child's Place. Is that what it was? Same company. It looked the exact same. It looked like a palace. Literally, it looked like a palace. But anyway, let's see here. Anyone else? Did I say hi to Machine Man? I think we've hit just about everyone. Oh, wait, Sean Jones saying Yo Joe. I always like a Yo Joe right there. And we have Matthew Matson, member for 24 months. And you know what he's going to get?
Fucking Phil Collins.
One day, Phil Collins' agent will reach out to me and say, what is this all about? Cooter's Garage has joined us. We have Jason Steele jumping here. Turk Murphy's Toy Solutions, who was also a former guest on Thursday with a Friend. We have Billy Butch 1980. I swear I have not seen that. Matthew, you need to keep me in line if I'm missing people. And then we have the star, the Steve Martin, saying, sup, people, can't stay. Got an early day tomorrow, but I will definitely catch the replay first thing in the morning. You have been the gem of the past 2 months between this and Circle of Jerks. So I just want to say thank you for jumping in here, catching the replay. Again, I mean this to every single person. Anyone that can give me a little bit of time, I appreciate it. I don't want anyone to ever apologize that, they missed it live. And Joe ARH saying, what's up, everyone? Whew. All right. We said hi to everyone. I think if I missed you, I apologize. I'll catch you around. I'm sure. Anyway. So let's see here. I'm trying to read what I got. Oh, I did clean that. You probably saw the short. So I did I kind of did a quick short of my classified collection. I told you it's pretty much all in my living room. This is what you get when you're single. You can decorate any way you want. You don't have someone telling you what to do, what not to do, and how to do it. So I did that. I started, I attempted, not attempted, I started doing a lot in the GI Joe room, which is the 4-inch room, O-ring room. I know it's been said that I'm just a classified guy, but I have this whole giant room dedicated to 1/18 scale. So I started cleaning that up because I do want to do a tour. I didn't do one last year. I've added a lot of stuff, all the Delta 17. There've been a few other stuff, and obviously some more Real American Hero that I've picked up, including the Transformers. I'm not sure how I'm going to put those in there, but I'm looking at doing that because I do want to have a complete collection video done at the end of the year. But I did the short. I went through everything quickly. Didn't really explain everything. You guys can kind of see. It's actually hard to get everything in. It was hard to get everything in 3 minutes, and then you can't add music in the 3 minutes if you do a short that way on YouTube. So I just did 60 seconds, pretty quick. See if there's anything you noticed that you missed. Not everything was in there. There's a couple things that don't exist in there. So anyway, I did do that, and I needed to, because I'm going to start. Again, if you watch the video where I put up the shelves, you've seen the brick bar. That is my project for the winter, to get that out. So I can move things around and have more space to actually display my collection. Chad N jumping in here saying, "What up, Big Cat?" Well, I'm not big, but thank you. So what did I drop this week? Well, I finally did an O-ring. I did the O-ring. It's not technically the O-ring. It's the O-ring Trouble Bubble. With Dr. Mindbender, if you didn't notice that. Yes, Dr. Mindbender is in there for sure. And again, that wasn't on purpose. I think most people know the whole Dr. Mindbender with Trouble Bubble Target exclusive story. But I just happened to have him in there because I had bought a new Dr. Mindbender, and I needed someone to throw in the Trouble Bubble, and I threw him in there. And then one day when I was down there looking, I was like, holy crap, I actually did that. But anyway, this week, thank you to my moderator, Matthew Matson, I was able to get this 2-pack, which I still haven't seen on Walmart. But again, I've also stopped going into Walmart. And I can honestly say, if you haven't watched the review, and you should, they finally made a quick kick that I like, which is this guy. They finally made a quick kick that I actually do like, that I enjoy. And I think I might have a second quick kick that I might turn into. I think I have a second. Maybe I got rid of them already. And find some legs for him. And then the Beachhead. Now, I'm not a big fan of the sweater that he's wearing. I know I quickly saw Woody. He was talking about it, and he said he actually liked it. And hey, to each their own. I have no problem. This is a crazy thing that, like, if you don't like something, you don't have to buy it. But I was able to get that. So I do like him. So again, thank you to Matthew. And then Sergeant Reds. They got the man Monkey Wrench. I have another one coming in from Walmart, which I will probably just return. He's not going to be hard to get, I don't think. This guy is really good. I am glad that I did not grab that Thor Love and Thunder and tried to do a kit bash on it. They did this one just so good that I have no reason. Again, I think they just nailed it. Everything that they did. And I like putting the mask on it, like just giving them something different. Although I probably won't be using it too often. I like what they did. Plastic Souls jumping in here quickly saying, "What up, Pumpkin, everyone else?" US Combat Dojo saying, "I found the Quick Kick 2-pack and a crystal ball at my Walmart this weekend." If you got the display, you are probably lucky enough to get it. I've seen the display one time, and they said they had 2 crystal balls and 1 2-pack, but they weren't on the floor, which meant they were either hidden or stolen or in the back. Hustle SM jumping in here saying quick kick with boots is wild to me. Yeah, but it's great because it's how he really should be. GI Bros jumping in here saying just got my 2-pack in today. Love it. Again, I think it's good. I think they did a really, really good with it. A real good job with it. And then the other thing that I got, and the only reason why I actually ordered this was so I could get free shipping when I order a crystal ball. And I thought, you know what? It's sold out really quick. And that's the only reason why I didn't get rid of it or cancel it. And that is the Spider-Man 77. It's from the 77 movie. There's nothing great about it. It is the Walmart exclusive. I don't even think that it was available on Hasbro Pulse. I've noticed that some of the exclusives from Marvel and I think even Star Wars, I feel like I've noticed that they're not available on Hasbro Pulse. This is not a great figure, but he's kind of fun. And if you do have Maximum Spider-Man, you can throw that alternate head on here. And I'm not talking about the Peter Parker head, the alternate head, and it matches close enough. And same with the extra hands. So you can swap out the hands. Again, it has this little rope. And again, before anyone says you're just a show, they talked about using this rope because this is what they used in the actual movie. But what is kind of cool is that you can put it underneath the web slinger, and there's so much pressure on it that thing is not going to fall. So this is just fun. Yes, Same Time Toys, Shane jumping in here. This is 77 Spider-Man. Now, the thing that I like about this, it's not so much that I have it. It's that, toys are not made for everyone. And there are people that enjoy that. And they might think that quirky Captain America was fun, but maybe they want to see that. And it kind of gives everyone an idea that maybe they'll do that Captain America movie, that really bad one, just like this, just like this. Just like Todd McFarlane does all these crazy, DC. Now, he doesn't care. He's just one of those people. He does whatever he wants. Marvel is way, way different when it comes to that, or Hasbro, shall I say, is way different. But you don't have to get it. It's not taking away from anything that you get. I mean, you can whine and bitch about it all you want and, cry about it. But again, if you don't want something, there's this crazy thing called not getting it. Like, you don't have to. So Tony's Figs jumping in here saying, what up, homies? And Matt O'Brien in pretty early, which is nice to see. Happy Labor Day, Punk and crew. But yeah, it's just one of those fun toys. And again, if I throw on the Maximum Spider-Man head, now I have not great articulation, that I will say. But you have another Spider-Man that maybe just use in the background. Who knows? You do whatever you want, right? So anyway, I want to say a big thank you to Evil Dookie, who was my guest last week on Thursday with the friend. I think we talked about it in 2.5 hours, maybe a little bit longer. A former Army drill sergeant. So I love talking to guys that I haven't really had a chance to talk to before. Again, it's great to talk to Tony and Matthew and those guys, but I know so much about them already. It's hard sometimes to do a show like that where this is a blank canvas for me to ask questions, to get to know about. Everyone feels like they know me because, again, they see me up here every single week, multiple times, to be honest. So it was great to have Evil Dookie on. And again, big thank you, not only to his wife, who was the one, he doesn't have social media. She was going to reach out and said, hey, here's his number, give him a call. But not only was she in the chat, his mom was also in the chat. And it sounds like they were super happy to see him. So you're welcome. Again, it was great to have him on. And then we have Cliff Doc Christensen saying, hey, Punk, sorry, like I said, don't ever apologize for being late. I'm just happy that anyone is willing to spend a little bit of time with me. Sean Forrester saying, I take a Lou Ferrigno Hulk and a David Banner 2-pack any day. And that's exactly it right there. Like, that's the type of stuff that it gives you ideas that they could make, right? And he wouldn't be on some super gigantic buck. He'd be on a buck that they could reuse for other things. And I think a lot of people would like that over Spider-Man 77, no doubt about that. Um, and then we have Tripwire jumping in here saying, wish I had gone to my Walmart with collector's display earlier yesterday. They put out the stingers. Maybe they would have had some of the figures with it. I think they all got them, like they got the whole setup at once. Now, whether or not they're going to restock them, who knows? Son of a Crayon Slayer jumping in here saying, hey now, I'm not a rock star. All right. This week, Thursday with a Friend is well, it's going to be someone that many of you probably don't know unless you're watching the Clubhouse or you're a Mythic Legions guy. And that is Curtis Ackerman. Art by Ackerman. He is pretty well known in the Mythic Legions community, for Horseman community, I guess you could say. So here's a link to the show. So make sure you click on it, that you hit the remind me button. But I'll have him on. I've chatted with him a few times. We kind of go back and forth, and he knows I'm kind of a big deal and all. So I'm interested to talk to him because again, I've never really had a chance to talk to him one-on-one. Every time that I've talked to him, it's been on the Clubhouse. So, but to me, he seems like a super solid guy. I know Tony was just recently on his show with him. So it's again, saying again, like it's great to have these new people that I'm getting to know and getting to meet, and hopefully you guys are all getting to know them also. Payne's Toy Sample is jumping in here. Hey kids. And then of course, you know what tomorrow is. Tomorrow is Circle of Jerks. And here is a link. If you don't have the link, if you're not already following Baldy Locks reviews, I don't know what you're doing. It's the best group show going today. I'm just saying, right? I might be a little biased, I might be a little biased, but it is the best group show going. I have no idea what Baldy has in store. I really don't. It's kind of what makes it fun. But I'm more of a professional. I'm doing my best to make sure that I keep the professionalism in the Circle of Jerks, because in all honesty, without me, there's probably no professionalism at all in that yeah, there's no professionalism without me in Circle of Jerks, right? We have a Toy Kind of Mood jumping in here saying, what to do, toy friends, last Monday before Monday Night Football. I've totally forgotten that Monday Night Football is on because I'm always busy. And then Cliff saying, is there a way to find out what Walmarts have the display? Yeah, go in there. Dude, honestly, no. I have no idea. It's a nightmare. Like I said, I probably have gone to 15 different Walmarts over the course of not last week, because I was like, I already got stuff coming. I don't care. And I've seen it one time, and the display is awesome. Like it's Hasbro on one side, Mattel on the other. I think they did a really nice job. The stuff that they're pushing out there, but it's aggravating. And then Rowdy says there's no head hair either on Circle of Jerks. Hey, you know what? You got to keep it nice and clean on your heads, right? Let's see. Cliff says I have visited all in my city, and both in Council Bluffs. And hey, I feel the same way. Like I said, I found one, and it's not in one of those super busy Walmarts. It's not one that I would have thought that I would have seen it. So it sucks. And again, I'm in Metro Detroit, Michigan. It's not like I'm in some backwoods city that, hey, there's 2 Walmarts, 30 miles from each other. If I have to drive 30 miles, I'll probably hit, 6 or 7 Walmarts easily. Look at this. JMK Custom Works jumping in here. Sup, punks? I'm here for the pants party or party with the pants. I don't know. If you're not checking out JMK Customs, please do. He is awesome. And again, that last night at Joe Fest, where we just, I think it's 3 a.m. we were up there. Had a fucking blast. So please check out JMK Customs. Let's see here. Oh, this is Tony's Fix. I don't care. I already said. Thanos Copter jumping in here, and then we have Stephen Cormack saying, you might be able to find out which Walmarts have them by seeing if there are pick-up options. Oh, you know what? Yeah, you can try that. You can try that. I've never tried that. And we have Pretzel John jumping in here saying, all the displays in the Walmarts near me are empty and look like absolute shit. Well, of course it's going to look like that. That's the problem. Like if they're not restocking them, and what I mean by them, I mean Hasbro and them are not working together, it's going to end up being this empty display with this really cool top, right? So it's, in theory, it's a great idea, but the question is are they going to be able to keep it like that? So who knows? Anyway, so that's it. I think I said hi to everyone. I think I said who to follow, what to do. Thanks to people. Let me see. I have all this stuff up here. So anyway, my Rumbler is still MIA. Yes, the Rumbler is still MIA. Baldy kind of figured out who the distribution is and said, hey, contact this person, which I did. Or contact this company, which I contacted them. You're going to love this. So I contacted them. So I had a Windblade really quick and Mark Harkness jumping in here. So I contacted the distribution company. So basically the way Mezco works is they get everything shipped to a shipping facility. This is the same way that a lot of other companies do. And then when they get the stuff in, Mezco tells them to ship it out. So Mezco tells them to ship it out, and clearly there was a shipping order made. So I call this person. I call the number. I get a hold of somebody, and I explain it. And she's like, well, if they would have sent it out. And I go, well, supposedly it's sitting there. Can you check on it? Like, can you check on the status? She goes, whatever your status says, that's what it is. Like, we can't do any more than what you have. What you're going to have to do is contact Mezco and ask them to follow up with it. So I'm like, all right. She's like, but I can give you my contacts. I can give my contacts email. I give you her number, but they won't give us their number. So basically, they only have an email. So I'm like, son of a bitch. All right, you know what? Whatever. But she kind of explained the whole situation. And then she said, there's a good chance that what happened was we put the label on it. It went out. It got lost at FedEx, or it might even be lost in our facility, which doesn't make me feel real good. But the only way that they can look into it is if Mezco contacts them and says, hey, we're requesting for you to check on this. This is just a clusterfuck. So I contact her. I email her. I instantly get back that reply that she's out of town until tomorrow. So I'm going to contact them again. And, you know, if I don't hear anything back, I'm going to probably put a cancellation in on it to my credit card company, stating that, I ordered this however long ago. It was supposed to be sent. They can't, they refuse to respond or whatever. And I'll let them know that I'm going to do it. I'm kind of at the point that this is enough. I mean, when you have a shipping label created on the 25th of July, other people are receiving it. And just for the record, I'm not the only one. I've gone on the Mezco, like one of the Mezco's Facebook pages, and other people said they're having the exact same problem, that theirs was created at the same time, which means that a shipment is lost and is probably in that facility. And I'm sorry, but it's just, to me, that's bullshit. And again, if all the labels were created and none of them got shipped out, then maybe there's a processing thing. But other people have gotten, Bobby B has gotten his. I've seen other people. It's just like, come on. This is a large and expensive item that you guys don't even care. And when I email you, I get this crappy response. It's just a very generic response. And they already have awful um customer service. I mean, everyone knows this. So Billy Butch 1980 saying, no Joe's, no Ubuntu, and Northeast Philly Walmarts. Well, you know what? It is one of those. Again, a Walmart is a clusterfuck. They really are. Carlos is saying, I've heard Mesco customer service leaves a lot to be desired. That's the understatement of the show so far. So anyway, the topic. Send me pics of your displays. How do you display your toys? And I said, send me your pics. Man, you guys made me work for this. Let's just say to anyone that sits there and says, hey, you just hit that live stream, you don't really do any work. Oh, I put the work in. I put the work in the past couple of days. That is for sure. And I love the interaction. I was worried I'd get like 3 or 4 people that sent it over. The fact that I got, I think 20 different people sent me different pictures, and I don't have any of my own pictures in there because I'm like, you guys have seen my stuff, and I'll do my own stuff. And Crow even said, hey, you know what? He goes, I kind of cleaned up some of my stuff after I sent you pictures, but I didn't want to resend them, which I'm thankful for because I feel like I feel obligated to add these pictures in because, hey, you guys are doing what I asked you to do, what I asked of you, and everyone likes to see their stuff displayed, right? I mean, that's the whole point of the show, to be interacting. So it's one of those things where it was nice to do, but man, you guys made me work. There's no doubt about it. Because slides are not always the easiest thing to put together. So Tripwire said, Fred shit lost something I ordered for a friend right after they picked it up. They lost it on the first truck. What? FedEx I usually have no problems with. I'll be 100% honest. I know my boss absolutely hates it because there are times we overnight a part for a copy machine because it's down, and it'll say, and he's actually showed this to me, that it'll actually say attempted to deliver, no one was there. Well, there is someone at our office all the time. So, it's one of those crazy things where you're like, come on, dude, like, you can't. And he said it's not the first time it's happened. It's happened numerous times. So they have a huge issue with FedEx. I think FedEx is probably the best company that ships stuff out. Clearly better than Amazon. I don't even know anyone that uses UPS. I don't know how UPS is still around, to be 100% honest. And then you look at the mail, which I guess they do an okay job. But that's that. So anyway. So quickly, you guys know the sponsors. We got Hella Dope Toys. Please head on over there. Use my code APWT. I guess they're working on some sort of mossy thing. I was just told about it today. Some sort of mossy thing. Not really sure. Not really sure how that is. But head over there, APWT, get 10% off your entire order. Doesn't matter if it's in stock, pre-order, or whatnot. Entertainment Earth, people have actually been using the code for Entertainment Earth. So just hit one of my links if you're ordering anything. I think people are starting to order things that are in stock or big bundles of things. And then the Amazon links, as you know, it all helps support the channel, goes right back into this channel, which, yeah. Boba Fett Gaming says, how is DHL around? DHL is the fucking absolute worst shipping that I have ever dealt with in my entire life. And I don't think there's anyone that's going to disagree. Although I heard their international is really good. Anything domestically is absolutely fucking the worst. So, whew. All right. That was a lot. That was a lot to get into. But anyway, we got a couple things. So as I mentioned, what do we have going on tomorrow? As you guys know, we have Circle of Jerks. Then we have right after that, well, not right after that, but shortly after that. Normally, I don't know, Ed, tell me. They have the Toy Elite Network, Toy Elite Takeover happening, and then that's at 9 p.m. At 10 p.m., Pop Blender, him and Matthew Matson, my other moderator, they do their own show called The Evening Blend. But what I'm going to do quickly is I got to say, give a couple words from one sponsor, and then we'll get into the other one.
Oh, hey guys. So Lawrence, he had to step away for a little bit. He's got a case of the grumble dust. So he asked me to kind of watch over a stream. He put me in charge of y'all. He said to me, "Oh, Moss Man, I have a case of the grumble dust, and I need you to watch myself for a little bit so nobody leaves and finds out that there's more interesting things to watch on YouTube. And also, I hate Ohio." So I was like, oh, dang, so now I have to come up with a topic for my very own show. And I was like, oh, what about talking about your favorite toy stores? So my favorite toy store is HelloDopeToys.com. So they used to have this really bad website. It used to look real scammy. Like if I gave them money, they were going to go spend it on like blow and hookers. But now their website is really nice. And like I can just go in and do like 1-2 click. And then my order's placed. And they ship super fast, guys. They ship everything in 1 business day. So like I get all my toys first. So when I'm out there on the playground and all my friends are like, oh, dang, Moss Man, where'd you get that action figure? I still have to wait 17 months for mine. And I'm just like, well, I went to HelloDopeToys.com and I just pushed the buttons and then they shipped it out to me. And the packaging is so nice, guys. Like, I opened up the box and I thought, oh, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve this kind of packaging. It's so nice. But then my trash can gets full because of all the packing stuff. And I was just like, oh, dang, I just changed the trash. But now I gotta change the trash again. Oh, you're right, Matthew Matson. You can use the code APWT at HelloDopeToys.com and save 10% on your order. So how that works is, so you're gonna save 10%, and then a Punk with Toys, he has to pay that 10% that y'all save. So if you don't like Lawrence, you can just go to HelloDopeToys.com and just buy a bunch of stuff and rack up his bill. So then like at the end of the month, they're like, Hello Dope Toys is like, oh, Lawrence, you owe us $1 million because of all the 10% codes that everybody used. And yeah, that's how that works. Okay, guys, so it looks like it's time for me to go now. So make sure you go to HelloDopeToys.com and like and subscribe. And then in the comments, put what your favorite toy store is. But if it's not HelloDopeToys.com, I'm probably just going to delete it, okay? So, all right, guys, bye!
You know, every time Tony says something bad about Moss Man, he's getting Moss Man riding a polar bear, all right? So, Tony, you may want to stop, or else we can do a whole show like this, all right? Do a whole show with Moss Man. Hey, you know, Tony, I don't know why you hate me, but I got my polar bear, he's going to come after you, and he can bite you, and you're not going to like that, but, you know, he's not going to kill you. He just wants to bite you, because he's like, why don't you like Moss Man? You know, this is with the polar bear. He's Mossy's best friend. Come on, man. How does anyone hate Moss Man? Tony, you're a heathen. I just want to say that. Yes, you need a mossy polar bear. I am with you. And, you know, look at this. Billy Butch coming in, Buddha Moss Man. You know, see, stuff like that. Stuff like that makes people upset. And Allison Troy, your Moss Man sucks. Hey, I agree. My Moss Man voice is nothing compared to the original Moss Man, the real Moss Man. Hey, I can only hope to one day have a oh no as well as the original, the true Moss Man, Ted Darkclaw. Anyway, Todd C did jump in here. I want to say hi to him, saying, "Hey, y'all, happy Labor Day!" Woo! All right. So quickly, there is some news. Not a lot. Don't worry, we're going to get into everyone's displays because I have, let me count here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different PDFs full of people's displays. Clint Jorgensen jumping in here saying, Tony hating Moss Man is the only controversial take. Yeah, is his only well, I don't know. He doesn't like, he hates diversity. So there is that. Anyway, McFarlane Toys jumping in here, and there is not very much. And I will be 100% honest. If any news really dropped today, yeah, I didn't pay attention to it. A matter of fact, there's no Batman. There's just this really, really bad Walking Dead 5-inch, if I am correct, Walking Dead figures. Now we know that he's going to have to switch over to a new company, or not a new company. He's going to have to produce other figures, and of course, he's going with The Walking Dead, which isn't the worst idea, except for he's not even going to go with his normal scale of 7-inch. He's going to go with a 6-inch scale, which once again, Uncle Todd does what Uncle Todd wants. And then we have Graf jumping in here saying he's quietly got a Mossman shrine. Hey, I just recently got this Mossman, so believe me, there is no shrine. Oh, maybe you're talking about Tony has it. Oh, yeah, Tony does for sure. That's probably the one slide of his that he didn't send me. So anyway, we have Rick Grimes here, which this might be from the cart. Well, this is AMC, so this is actually from the TV show. And yeah, I don't know. I've looked at it a couple times. Maybe once the hat comes off, I'll see Rick Grimes. But yeah. And then we have this guy here, which is, yeah, what is his name? I know who it is. Oh yeah, it's Snake Eyes. So Snake Eyes is here. And look, Baldy Locks review saying even zombies would pass on that Rick Grimes. In all honesty, I know the first time that I saw that was from Spec in our chat, sending it out there. So Rowdy says those Walking Dead figs are 4-inch and reuse. I thought he was doing a 5-inch line. I swear he's doing like a 5-inch. I thought they were like, I thought they didn't fit. And again, I'm not questioning. I just thought that. So, I apologize. If they're 4-inch, then hey, you know what? Cool. Like Arctic Snake Eyes actually works out perfect, to be honest, right? Hobo Snake Eyes. Yeah, see, they are 5. That's what I thought, because I thought, like, why are you doing a? Yeah, I thought they were 5-inch too. So anyway, this is, I can't think of his name. This was the guy Morgan, right? This is Morgan, because he's got his little staff and everything. So, but I might be wrong. It might not be Morgan, but I think it is. And then we have I believe this is a zombie walker that was in a nice suit. Again, something like this would have been pretty cool if you did 4-inch figures, right? Because you can, again, there's a lot of people that are doing 4-inch figures. Believe it or not, there's still people doing 1/18 scale. And I think they would love to have that. But 5-inch, again, why? Like, no one asked for 5-inch. I think we've established that most things are going to be 1/18 scale, 6-inch scale, or, the 12-inch scale for some of the stuff. So, but anyway, there we go. Tripwire says, is that a urinal stuck on his face? It does kind of look like it. And Allison says, this looks like my ex's dad when he'd go to the fetish club. Why did you, like, you know what? There are things that I don't want to know. And Bobby Wold he says that is supposed to be Morgan. That's what I thought, because I watched the whole show, but it's been a long time, so you start to forget. You start to forget things. Anyway, Clint says they go good either way. Either way, superpowers at least. Yeah. All right, and that's it. That's all the McFarlane that I have. But I got NECA. And this works out good because I just went to the Renaissance Festival, and this is the little kids line with Dungeons and Dragons, and I have a whole bunch of slides for these. So I know a lot of people like these. I'm waiting for the G.I. Joe versions of these, because come on, why can't we get the G.I. Joe one? Did they have they must have had Cobra. I think they're a Cobra Trooper, right? Either way, it's time to get some of these GI Joes. I think it's only a matter of time. But anyway, here is our little kid line. Is anyone collecting these? Because I see them all over the place now. I see them all over the place. I don't really hear anyone saying that they are collecting it, but definitely, definitely people are going to buy them, and I might even pick up a couple especially if they ever go on clearance. That's what I would love to see. NECA puts something on clearance. Same time, Toy says Joe only had really. I remember Grunt because I was Grunt at least 2 times for Christmas for Halloween. But here we go. And correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but these are all new. These are all new baskets. Candy baskets. I love the die. Right, the die is awesome. Like that is something that a Dungeons and Dragons would have. Right, so you actually have this. What is it, an 18-sided die, 20-sided die? I don't know. I'm not a nerd. I don't play Dungeons and Dragons. And then we have the skeleton one. Now, this is one of those things that should light up in the dark. I don't think it does, but that would be perfect for lighting up in the dark. Again, NECA knocks it out of the park when it comes to these accessories. Now, here is a skeleton, or a pumpkin. And if I'm correct, I guess the top. I guess it is different, although it is kind of like sided like the die, but it is completely different because that die is literally embossed in certain spots. So, but here we have again. These are I think these are cool. Especially if you have Michael Myers and he's kind of walking around and that's how you want to do your Halloween set. I think I might need to look into some of these more now that I'm thinking about it. So plastic skulls, I use those for some custom figures I made. What do you use them for to customize? Just wondering what is it that you're able to customize out of them? Because I'd be really interested to see that. So, but anyway, here they are. Again, the whole plastic suit is actually pretty cool. We all remember that it was either way too hot. I mean, it seriously is like one of those plastic suits that people wear into the sauna so they can drop an extra 10 pounds. Or if you're here in Michigan and it's rainy and cold, they are super, super cold. But you were never going to tell your parents that because you already fought not to wear the jacket. Come on, everyone that grew up in the North knows exactly what I'm talking about. You fought with your parents. You fought with your parents to not wear the jacket over your Halloween costume when you went out. There was no way you were ever going to complain that it was cold. Tech 489 jumping in here saying, "What's up?" Tripwire says, "I had the Cubert one." You mean the real one? You made aliens, like alien characters, not Aliens the movie. Just trying to figure out. I would love for you to send me this. I'd love to see exactly what you're talking about. And Graf says Skull Bucket looks good. I agree. I think the Skull Bucket is really, really cool. Because you can actually set it down. You can't set the die one down. You can't set the pumpkin one down. It's just gonna fall over. Yes. Clint Jorgensen. Well, the cold never bothered you anyway. I didn't do it on purpose. All right. And I believe that was at last Thursday with a friend. Is that when I said that the cold never bothered me? I knew as I was saying it, but I was describing something. I was not singing it. Anyway, if you are so interested, you can pick these up. These things have become way more available than when they first came out. And again, I know they have the Batman one, the Superman, and the DC ones. We need the G.I. Joe one. G.I. Joe, Transformers. And I'd be okay if they want to make a few extra, maybe that they didn't do. Again, maybe they can do hooded Cobra. Just kidding. Could you imagine if they did hooded Cobra Commander in these? Oh my god, could you imagine the community? They would lose their shit. It would almost be worth it. GI Jetman says, I want a Beastman and Merman because that's what I dressed up as. Yeah, to me, that's exactly. I mean, I want the G.I. Joe one because it's G.I. Joe. But that's the one thing I distinctly remember dressing up as. So here's what they look like. It's a superstar custom figure with mask, Dungeons and Dragons. Collect them all. Again, they all look really good, and again, it's awesome that they're able to take a so figure, which is these little kid figures, and do a make a look of a so costume. That, let's be honest, those costumes never really looked that great. As a kid, you loved them, but as you got older, you realize that one person that had an awesome one, like that's what you kind of miss. Lone Dragon's jumping in here saying, "Oh, what are you guys showing next? Funko Pops?" I don't know. I might. If it makes you leave, then perhaps I will. Russell Lemieux jumping in here. NECA won't play has. Well, I mean, why wouldn't they pay Hasbro? I mean, have they not done any Hasbro products? And I mean it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if there's anything. I mean, I really don't know if there's any reason. Like, if you know something, I've never heard anything like that. So anyway, there you are. That is your NECA. If you are interested, go pick them up and have fun with them. Star Wars. Before I get into Star Wars, there's 99 people watching right now. Trigger warning to everyone. All right, trigger warning. You may have to go smoke a cigarette against a brick wall and bitch and bitch and bitch and bitch and bitch until you can't bitch no more because something came out that you don't want and you don't think that $1 billion company should make it because you don't want it. So trigger warning right now, guys. And that is the Star Wars Christmas figures. And I will say it again. If you don't want them and you don't like them, there's this thing called not buying. It's so fucking easy. Anyway, here we go. Yeah, R2D2 and Grogu. At least I think it's R2D2 as Santa. So here he is. Or it's some sort of R2 unit. It might not be R2D2. I don't know. It's just a repaint, right? It's something easy. You know, there are people that love Star Wars that also love Christmas, and this is right up their alley. But let's be honest, the little R2 unit with the beard and the hat and everything is actually pretty cool. And then you get Grogu in a little Santa suit. Come on, it's pretty cool. And you got a candy cane for his little cane. Let's be honest, like this type of stuff it's fun. And it's not for everyone. And again, if you don't want it, or you want to wait till it comes out at Ross, Ross or Ollie's, then that's perfectly fine. I know that they were talking about it on Smoking Joe's before. Like, this is like a Ollie's exclusive, a Ross exclusive. It will be there before you even get a chance to, or probably before Christmas. So anyway, and then quickly,
here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Woody Triple Two, the figure addict, saying, "Smoke break. Thanks for the entertainment, punk." And you also get one of those. You're welcome. Again, I'm glad I can entertain you. I'm glad we're friends, to be honest. Like I said, we talked for like an hour before you went on. So, but again, little Grogu. This is a lot of space for a lot of picture for a little picture for a little figure. But anyway, if this is something you're interested in, and you're like, hey, you know what? I need this for my Christmas display. Go get it, man. Yes, that one is wet as fuck just for you. The Viper Scout showed up. I totally missed Viper Scout. Or someone said, oh, there he is. What's up? Hey, y'all, just out of work. Totally missed you, Viper Scout. Don't worry, I got your pictures. So there you go. Grogu on top of an R2 unit who's about to fly away. And again, just some stupid little fun. Again, if you don't like it, don't get it. It's an Astro droid, even though it looks like R2D2. Holiday edition. Again, I'm sure people are going to buy this. Matthew is saying, did you see the Hallmark Star Wars ornaments? Real chessboard hologram. No, I have not. Do you want to tell me how much that is, Matthew? Because I'm going to assume, because one thing is Hallmark, and then it's an hologram chest, that it's expensive as shit. But anyway, and then we get this one. Now, I can't say I fully understand this one. It is a stormtrooper as a reindeer, which I think is actually pretty funny. And I know Shane from Same Time Toys. He mentioned about the Nerf blaster. I gotta say, I think the Nerf blaster is probably the coolest part of this whole thing, right? It looks funny because it looks like what you would buy in your Walmart, your Target, and the Nerf blasters. Toy Optics Spec jumping in saying another year, another lack of Jewish Star Wars decorations. And he can say that because he's our resident Jew on Circle of Jerks. I don't know if you know this, but he actually wanted to name it Circle of Jews, and we're like, whoa, there's only one of us. Anyway, you're gonna get a couple porgs. One looks like it is a Force porg, or Force Ghost porg. And here he is with his little blaster. So, Matthew is saying it's $100. I can't wait. And Spec says everyone gets a menorah. MCR says he is a jerk. We have to remember that one. He is a jerk. Oh shit. Anyway, here we go again. Now I will say this. I guess the mask you can kind of get the look of a reindeer or an animal like that, but I have to say this is stretching it to try and make this look like a reindeer. But hey, it's all supposed to be in good fun, right? That's what toys are supposed to be. If you don't enjoy any hobby that you're doing, then fucking just quit, man. Like, there's enough things in this world to raise my blood pressure. I'm sure the hell not going to let toys be one of them. Jay Solar Wars jumping in here saying the antlers do resemble a menorah. Holy shit, you're absolutely right, Jay Solo Arts. So suck it, Spec. There's your Jewish Christmas display. And Joe ARH says, when getting fleeced brings you closer to Jesus, accept no substitution. Ooh, look at it. Gun Bunny says they could do a Death Star dreidel. Oh god, you guys kill me. I mean it, man. I can tell you again, without 100 of you watching right now, this is me just talking to myself like on a regular basis every day. So thank you guys all for joining and being part of this shit show I call a stream. Anyway, there you go. Again, I personally like the blaster probably more than anything. Although the porgs, again, probably one of the better things in the Star Wars sequel trilogy. You're scraping, you're trying to say nice things if you're saying the porgs are probably one of the best things in the Star Wars sequel trilogy. All right. Anyway, SH Figuarts gives us this again. Um, People like it. SH Figuarts, again, they are again. You either like their designs or you don't. Now this is part of like a Gamerverse style. It's supposed to be, I believe, Spider-Man from the Capcom game. Now, I am not a fan of the of the of the of the waist, the torso, not the torso, the waist and the legs. Way too much kibble going on there. Again, the big chunky legs, and like this shot looks really good for the most part. But again, like when you start looking at how the legs look, and I'm not a big fan of the knees. Also, all that stuff, again, now I know a lot of people like uh, lighter Spider-Man. Tony went and painted his Maximum Spider-Man, which I think is, again, that thing didn't need to be touched. That thing was, I mean, I think that thing is almost as perfect as it can be. But again, it's just one of those things where it's just a little, again, it's not for me, but everyone is a little different. And again, I think that they did such a good job with the Maximum Spider-Man. I just don't like the way the legs look. That's my biggest gripe on this, to be honest. But they are big and chunky the way it's supposed to be, if I am correct from the video games and stuff.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
And Triple D's done with the $4.99 super chat, which means he's sending this from an iPhone or an iPad. If I can spend $50 on a steak for dinner, I can at least spend $5 on dessert. Can I at least spend $5 on dessert? Yes. Yeah, I guess. Yes. Thank you very much for the super chat, guys. I appreciate it. Baldy says Toy Optics loves his crotch. Sometimes I miss what goes on in our Circle of Jerks chat, and I think I'm kind of glad I miss. And no, Tony, you didn't have to paint it. It actually looks perfectly fucking fine. But hey, you do you, okay? You can do whatever you want to do. Whatever makes your heart little. Whatever makes your heart happy. Thanos Copter jumping in and say, I think he looks great, even if his crotch is a bit goofy. And again, that's really my only complaint. Okay. That is my only complaint for the most part. And then you have this here, which I believe is the box. So they are trying to make it look interactive so you can kind of make it all work together. Again, SH Figuarts are known for sometimes having really good articulation, and I think this is going to be no different. But again, when it comes to, for me, I $50 Maximum Spider-Man, and I'm definitely happy. Toy Optics says, I love Spidey's crotch and my own crotch. Good for you. So, and then he gets the spider sense. I'm assuming this is pretty much the same thing that they do that they did with Maximum Spider. It's just Spider-Man. It just kind of fits right on top of them. It's just a clear plastic. It looks cool. Again, it's good for photography. I think here's a good shot that they're trying to show you how clear it actually is. But again, this figure, in my opinion, I mean, it does look good. I'm just not a fan of the way the legs are. And I do understand that's how they do their aesthetic. But there's a lot going on there. Like he's wearing the G-string backwards. Just my opinion. Eric Thurman says, after Maximum Spider-Man, I don't think I'll need another Spider-Man. And you know what? That's exactly what they said about Maximum Spider-Man. Now, this is not Marvel. I mean, this is not Hasbro. But I'm with you. I mean, I did get this Spider-Man 77 here. But again, that's not my... I mean, Maximum Spider-Man for me is, the be-all, end-all of what I probably need. Bobby Wolt says, I wonder how come they haven't made a web effect that looks like his his webbed up one on his foes, just like a small slit in the back, so you can slip it over a generic size Marvel Legend. Because that would cost money. I mean, arthritis. The hands have been bugging me. I'm not gonna lie, but it's really cartoony, right? But you're absolutely right. And Thanos says, before Maximum Spider-Man, I didn't need any more Spider-Man. I think a lot of people said the same thing. Now, I didn't have Spider-Man, so I was waiting to find one, and when that thing came out, it was like the perfect time. Because I probably would have bought another one, but I will say this: what kept me from buying other Spider-Man figures is having the Ben Reilly with articulated toes. And even though I'm not like, hey, I need to have articulated toes, I don't think figures need it. I don't think all figures need it, but I do think there are some that definitely do need it. And this one, again, Spider-Man did. And that's what kept me from buying any Spider-Man. So, all right, Loose Collector. And Rob Liefeld is coming in, making some nice looking figures. Now, let's be honest. Once again, we know that companies just copy other companies. And when it comes to all of this image stuff, they had copied. They took so much from Marvel. And I'm sure they took other companies too, but there really were a lot of design cues taken from other ones. But so here we have Die Hard. Now, I don't remember that. I mean, I remember these figures in Youngblood. I didn't ever read it, but they kept saying Die Hard, and I'm like, are they talking about the fucking movie? Oh no. But he does look cool. Loose Collector, I believe, has a pretty good reputation when it comes to all of this. So again, he does look cool, but I don't know if everyone needs this, if everyone wants this, right? And if you do, good for you. Like, you know what? Go out, get it, and enjoy it. But I think I believe these run 80 or 90. So they're expensive figures for sure. Matt O'Brien here is saying, I hope the first Hooded Coco we get in the line is a Christmas one. Want to see the fan base lose their minds. Oh, dude, I'd love it. If you could tell me that they were doing a Hooded Cobra Commander, but it was going to be for the Christmas G.I. Joes, and they're just like super festival colors. Oh my god, it would be so awesome. It's so awesome. Rondo jumping in here saying, I just bought a McFarlane Youngblood troll last week, $7.99. And Piper Scout says, still hiding feet. But anyway, there's your Youngblood Die Hard if you're interested. All right. And it tells you everything that he does. I think that he comes with and everything here. So again, this is one of those things where it's not going to be for everyone, but it's Loose Collector, right? Like, it is a niche company. So you get Youngblood. Everything looks really cool on it, though. And then we get Shaft. I know you all started singing Shaft right now. I mean, this guy, in my opinion, he might be kind of like Hawkeye in red and white. War Chest is here saying War Chest reporting. I like that more than War Chest. War Chest is here. I like War Chest is reporting. But yeah, this is, again, they look cool, but like every superhero, and again, Marvel Hasbro does it. Like, there's not too much to them. You know what I mean? Um, where the GI Joe stuff, and there's so many overlays. You know, a lot of these superheroes, they're wearing skin tight stuff, so it's real easy. You know, to redo stuff. Everything's smooth lines. You don't have texture on it, and that's what you're seeing here. Like, if you told me this was a Marvel Legend, I probably wouldn't know any different. Matter of fact, as I'm looking at it, I see it. I mean, it almost looks like a Marvel Legend. So, Allison says, I got Shaft this morning, highly recommended. Wow. And then 10 Night jumping in and saying he's a bad motherfucker. um, and Baldy Lex says, ironically, the best action figure design feat ever made. Oh man, you guys are something else. So, but here he is. This is Hawk. I mean Shaft. How do you get that? All right. Now this is a cool shot right here when you have the three arrows. Stuff like this is, again, in my opinion, is really cool. I like when they do stuff like this. So, but if you want your Youngblood figures, if this is something you've been waiting for, then I'm gonna say, hey, you know what? Go out, get them, enjoy it. You're never gonna find them probably cheaper unless if McFarlane does them. And I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to get that type of stuff. Again, it'd fit perfect. And here he is, kicking not Cable. Dan Olton says, "Who's the baddest mother?" Shut your mouth. Oh, wait, wrong Shaft. That's what she said. I don't think you wanted her to shut her mouth. Anyway, so here they are side by side. There is somebody somewhere that is arguing that this third one looks nothing like Cable. There's at least one person in this world that will argue and say, no, dude, that is nothing like Cable. It looks nothing like him. I know it's not Cable, but for the love of God, like, you can't even lie about that. Oh, that, that's what it is. Yeah. His Gambit mask is so funny. However, I do want the Cable and Shatterstar. Again, I'm not even saying it doesn't look nice. I'm just saying that it's fucking Cable. Like, you can't even hide that is Cable. So anyway, Joe RHA says, Life Out at least has the crotches down. And so Allison says, Liefeld literally ripped off the Teen Titans and X-Men to create all of his characters. Like, dude can't draw feet. I can't stop ripping off other characters. There's a lot of people that rip off other characters. So anyway, there you go. That is your Youngblood Shaft. Now on to a little bit of Jada. I think I talked about this last week, but I didn't know this went up for sale. So this is the Entertainment Earth exclusive cami. And I went to pre-order it. I realized it's like $34 on Entertainment Earth. And I know a lot of companies are having issues trying to decide how much they're going to charge when it comes to the new tariffs and everything. I feel like Entertainment Earth is probably the absolute worst of them all. Like, they have no clue. So, if you want this, the silver cami, it is available. Entertainment Earth exclusive. I felt dirty even putting a link to it, which I probably should, in case if you do want to order it, you might as well use one of my links. But $34 for what has been a $25 figure, and I do understand costs go up, but this is a huge jump, especially when we're seeing what their deluxe figures are, right? So I'm a little, yeah, it kind of it bothers the shit out of me that it's your exclusive and you've jacked up the price. So, but nothing you can do about it. If you want her and you don't have the original, which you can still get at a reasonable price, go get her. Or maybe you have to have all of them. Largo's Lair jumping in here saying, Liefeld loves pouches, mini pouches everywhere. And then Red Nom jumping in here saying, what's up, everyone, and Larry. Thank you. That was the nicest thing you probably ever said to me, Red Nom. So there you go. There's your cami. If you need a silver cami, I would pick it up. But yeah, I can't justify not spend, that it's 25 and was 25 and now they've jacked it up to like, I think it was 33 or 34 and it's your exclusive. So what is crazy is that they'll sell it to other companies right after this. So more than likely, you'll probably see it go to Jada Toys, Nerdzoic, and BBTS, which I find quite odd that they'll send their exclusives to BBTS. So, but there you go. And wow, that's the end. That's all. That's all I have. Woo! That is all I have. Other than the displays. And as I said, I got a lot of displays to go over. I haven't really thought about how I know I'm going to show them off, but I haven't really thought about how I'm going to show them off other than just kind of go through them. So just another Anderson jumping in here and say, sorry, I just read the thumbnail and kind of embarrassed how small mine is. It's okay. It's okay. She said it was a good size, so you're good. Whew. Anyway, MCR now wants to talk Roman. You know what? He tends to leave me alone. Plus, Olivia's here. So if Olivia's here, he'll spend time with her. So, and my son's not here, so now it's even better because there's no yelling and screaming while he's trying to play video games. Anyway, I'm going to quickly take a nice little break. And you can first hear from a few sponsors or channels or different things like that.
Fired? Have you recently lost your job with a major toy manufacturer? Tariffs got you down? You may be entitled to sharing your story on a major media streaming outlet. We want you to dish the dirt. Call Circle of Jerks at 900-555-0979. We will exploit you for our personal gain. That number again is 900-555-0979. Circle of Jerks. Every client gets a cookie.
Idiots! Incompetent buffoons! What is it now, Commander? Consummate morons! Incapable of coherent thought! Are you watching that show again? Yes. Why didn't you just watch Pop Blender and Matthew's discussions, news, reviews before the show came out? Whether you agree or disagree, the perspectives provide enough context to know if the show or movie is worth your time or not. Yes, I know. I will not miss another Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central on Pop Blender's channel. Be more than once a man by watching Pop Blender and Matthew talk about pop culture news discussions and reviews on Tuesday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. And now you know. Televiper, be sure to hit like, share, and subscribe so we do not miss another episode, and hit that bell notification.
Oh, hey guys, what's going on?
Mossman, what are you doing back here?
Oh, you see, so Skeletor, he had to go to the grocery store. He had to go buy more barbecue Pringle chips. And so he's put me in charge here for a little bit. In charge of y'all. He said, man, Mossman, I have to go to the grocery store, so I need to put you in charge of Snake Mountain.
Yes, that's Skeletor. That's Skeletor, right.
Skeletor said since I was in charge, I could use the credit card and maybe go online and buy some action figures for myself. And some action figures sound kind of nice.
Yes. Maybe we can go to Big Bad.
Yeah, Beast Man, we don't say that around here. We go to helldopetoys.com. They have the best prices in town, and they ship everything in one business day. One business day, Beast Man. That means I buy it, and it comes to my house super fast, and they pack it all real nice. So when I go to do my YouTube reviews for my 5 subscribers, I'll be like, oh, look at this minty fresh packaged box that I got from helldopetoys.com. So what are we waiting for, y'all? Let's go get that credit card and head on over to hellodopetoys.com right now before they run out of all the good stuff.
All right. So let's just start off by saying hi to Nolan, who's tuning in just in time to get into our topic. That's right. Ed, I hope you're watching. I hope you're listening right now because we're getting into the topic at 10:30 p.m. I don't want to hear any more of your whining and complaining that you guys have to wait to 11:45 to get to the topic. We're going to get to the topic now. So let's just quickly discuss this. I had an idea I tried doing this before, and I want to say mine was like, what properties do you want to see like mixed and matched with? And I want to say 3 to 4 people sent me their ideas and pictures. And I was expecting a similar turnout. But by the end of Monday night, I had already gotten that many. And then by the end of Tuesday, I think I had about 10 or 11. I sent out a community tab reminding people. And sure enough, I started getting some more. But they kept sprinkling all the way until I want to say 5 p.m. today. Someone had sent me something. And luckily, there was only one picture. And there was 3 pictures, but only one that I could fit on the slide. Like seriously, like the slides are seriously like that large for the most part. It's absolutely crazy. But I quickly want to start off with this. MCR says, Punk, your favorite figure, not best figure of the year, would be Max Hulk. I don't know. I'd have to think about it. I would say he is the figure that I have played with the most, though. He's the one that I've played with the most. I'm not sure if he's my favorite, but he's definitely up there. And you're right, he's not the best figure at all. But for what I've had enjoyment out of, he gets a lot of use. So again, he's worth the $60 in my mind at least for what I'm doing. Anyway, the assignment was send me pics of your display. How do you display? I want you to send me some pics. Some people went. I think some people have been waiting for this, for someone to say, send me pics of your collection. Other people, they took just kind of a few pictures. I didn't give like a certain thing. I just said, hey, you know what? Send me some pics. So I wasn't sure exactly how it was going to go. And, you know, when you start getting email after email after email after email from the same person, and you know the reason why they're sending you multiple emails is because their email is that you can't send anymore. Well, that's what you get. So anyway, but the first one we're going to start off with is the only video submission that I got, and that's fine because before Darren says anything, I did say I didn't run it in video. But this was sent in by Menhoza, and it's just a quick little video of just a few things too. I also realize Menhoza has the smallest collection of everyone in the chat. Viper Scott, I'm just gonna say you worried me when you sent more today, and I'm like, son of a bitch. I was a little. It was today you sent them, or maybe it was yesterday. I forget. I think you sent more today, and I was like, oh man, oh no. I have no idea. He did that. I have no idea who that was. But anyway, so we're gonna start off with 3-star, and he sent the most. So this whole entire slide, which just so you know, if you don't use StreamYard, you can only create a 50 megabyte StreamYard slide. This original slide that I made was 78 megabytes, so almost double the size for it. So quickly, this is going to be 3-star draw. As you guys obviously know what his name is, right? So he started off, and I had to show this one because he's watching me, right? Or he has, he has and again, I'm pretty sure he did this on purpose, right? That he has the a Punk with Toys on up in the background, kind of showing what he's doing. Now, this is not how he really displays everything, as you will see shortly. But whoa, what the hell happened here? I don't know what that is. Man, I really should have played this first.
I don't go through all the graphics before the show.
I don't know why that's like that, but it came out that way. I hope there's no more like that. So anyway, we get his. Let's just say there's a lot of rattlers. There's a lot of dragonflies in this for sure. Okay. No, there's no gravity in Tennessee. That is right. Cobra Commander jumping in here saying, "What up, gang? Did I miss the Motu news?" Yeah, there was no Motu news. So anyway, here's his hiss, which did you buy the hiss at Joe Fest? You're kind of seeing that he's putting his 788 team all together. He has the HMS right there. There's a Stinger back there. There's a Cobra Commander that we shall not discuss here. But again, and I can guarantee you he does not have that figure balanced by herself. She is using the back of the claw because she's not tall enough to be standing up like that on the claw. Here's his Python Patrol. Again, these are different displays, and he has the G.I. Joe comics and everything in the back there. I almost forgot that they made the Pythona, or not Pythona, who the hell's the ninja? Who's the Python Patrol ninja? I totally forgot about her. I have her, but she's with my ninjas. I forgot that she was in the back, or she was actually Python Patrol. I had to leave Scrap Iron in. If you don't know, Viper, thank you very much. Darren has a little obsession with Scrap Iron. And he brings them into the pool, and it's kind of creepy that he brings them into the pool and they swim together and everything. But hey, you know what? Whatever makes him happy, makes him happy. Clearly, he has multiple. That's why he has, I guess, 2 rocket launchers shooting. Well, one shooting at the other one. But hey, you know what? Good for you, Darren. Tight spaces for the Scrap Iron there. Here is his Iron Grenadiers, as I would assume he's waiting for the Iron Grenadier Destro, as I think most of us are. Oh look, and Darren says it's that Scrap Iron too. The one that took he tried to self-delete in the pool. But here's his Iron Grenadiers. And as you can tell, he kind of mixes and matches a lot of things in the background. And this is one of those things that so many of us have a problem with. And that is, how do we actually display stuff? Because a lot of us have run out of room. And I think you kind of see this here. I have to say, I do have two of these 12-inch figures from 3.0. I have the other Storm Shadow, the classic Storm Shadow, and Snake Eyes. I really, really liked this this Roadblock. And again, if I had the room for the price that these 3.0s are, again, I think they're a great price. So I gotta say, I really do. I really like these. So kind of seeing how he kind of fits this in here. Is Big Boa punching at that Storm Shadow right there? It looks like he's punching at his claws right there. Pop Leonard jumps in saying Scrap Iron likes to watch. Hey, you know what? Whatever floats your boat, man. Whatever floats your boat. So here we go. Darren, he likes to buy the ramen toys. So as you can see, he went in on the white ramen racer for free candy. And then obviously, I'm sorry, the white ramen van. And then we have the nice ramen racer, who, again, that is a really, really good vehicle. I was really impressed with it. It changed my whole feelings towards ramen. So again, really nice. And again, use a USB, so a USB-C, so you can constantly have it on. Debo DNA jumping in here saying, I have the same two as you, punk. I don't know what you. Oh, the Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow. They kept making them. I probably should have bought those rather than the fucking Mezco. Fuck you, Mezco. The Storm Shadow is awesome too, for sure. So, now, how many ramen racers did you buy? Because now I'm looking here, you also put shark teeth on it. No wonder why you don't have space. No wonder why you don't have space. But here we have one of my my vaunted grenades, along with a Helidope Toys crate. And then you have the Joe Lanta exclusive. Then again, this is where you start mixing and matching stuff. And so, I'm serious. Have you tried calling Mezco in Mossman voice? I'd be happy to get a hold of Mezco in my own crappy ass whiny voice. There we have the black van with Spider-Man dancing with Venom, and it looks like the Punisher driving. Darren, did you break off the gear shifter when putting the Punisher in? You don't have to answer it. I know you did, because there's no way that you could not have. Here's some Mythic Legion. So he has his own little Mythic Legion shelf. And look at all these stickers on the bottom. We have a Tony's Figs. We got, look, Mython the Python, who's been a long time. We have Wraith Mace, who no longer likes me. We have a Punk with Toys, probably my favorite sticker right there. We got some Top Fun Toys, which is Astrodamus. So again, I don't know why who pins the stickers. You really fucking pin stickers? They're called stickers for a reason. They have this thing called a sticky side. But anyway, there you go. That's more of his stuff. And here we can look at Daredevil Dave, Emerald Knight. Look at all that stuff. No, he does. He just doesn't watch anymore. He doesn't dislike me at all, from what I know. Tony says, where is it? You pinned my shit. But I'm surprised he even got it, because Tony, like, he bought all these stickers for Joe Fast, and then guess what I forgot. And then he says, the shelf rail is too narrow. again, you make things work. Anyway, we can see his little grumpies in the back here. I can tell you that these grumpy bears are literally they were molded after Darren, because I've never seen someone be so grumpy and moody. Even someone named Moody isn't as moody as Darren can be at times. I love you, Darren, but you know that shit. And here we have our 4 horsemen. Are you the only person that strapped the Frankenstein's monster to the actual thing there? But anyway, there's some more Mythic Legion. Oh, actually, there's 4 horsemen stuff. This is your figure obscura. Ghostbusters. Darren collects a lot of different things. Now, I'm not one to talk because God knows how many different things that I definitely collect. So, and then we have the card art. Now, I have to say, at first, I thought, like, you did a really good job of figuring out how to get the card or get the figures off the card art. And then I realized that this was the new card and you just had to cut around it, and they come off really, really easy. Dave, they are in Arizona still because Tony didn't bring them to Joe Fest. That's where they're at. They're in Arizona. So, and here we get, another look at a bunch of stuff. And you have this whole weapons rack here and you don't have it displayed. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, that weapons rack is one of the most frustrating things because anytime you tap it, 5 different things fall off of it. But once it's displayed, it looks really awesome. And I also can't believe they've never reused that weapons rack again. Oops. I don't know why I did this with some of these pictures because I don't think they were sent over like this. But anyway, this was his Indiana Jones. If you look like this, you can see. Well, that was all of Darren's pictures. So I think even the PowerPoint was like, all right, that's enough. So anyway, that was all of Darren's pictures. How Darren displays this stuff. Now, again, before anyone wonders, like, whoa, like you're just showing people's pictures. I truly had no idea how I was going to do this. This was one of those things where I thought it'd be pretty cool, show off everyone's, show off, people that wanted to show off their displays and maybe give some people ideas. So next up, now this, we have a whole bunch of different pictures. So I did a slide. I'll just kind of explain. I did one slide where it was only one person's pictures. And then I did a slide where it's a whole bunch of people's because they sent less. And then another slide of a whole bunch of pictures because they sent me 2,000. And I alternated that way. So, no gargoyles, no Thundercats. When I had, it sucked going through and deleting some of the pictures that I had to delete. But when I deleted someone's pictures, I tried to look at it and say, is there anything that they have like that made, like there were some duplicates, but some that were like maybe at a different angle. So I just kind of like fit them in there. So, all right. So we will go with G.I. Jetman. He sent me his stuff last night. As I believe, correct me if I believe Pop Blender must have been talking about this because Matthew Matson and Jed Jetman both emailed me about the same time. So Shelf Presence jumping in here saying, where could we send our pics to? I missed it. I put it out there. It was a punkwithtoys@gmail.com. I'll probably do something like this later. Obviously not next week or anything. Or maybe for our for the streamathon. I kind of just get to go through some. So I'll talk about it again if I decide to do something like this. I really wasn't expecting this many. I really wasn't expecting this many pictures at all. So anyway, G.I. Jetman, he sent me a bunch of these here. Now here's his Dreadnought collection. All right. Also, if anyone has an extra Yabu, is that his name? Yabu. I somehow lost Naga Hides Monkey. Feel free to send me it because I can't find it. It's driving me fucking nuts. Anyway, here's another thing, and you can see down here on the bottom, he has Radnom's 3D printed stuff. And again, even though for Radnom that stuff is considered for 1/18th, you can work it into your 1/12 scale, if you choose to. So here's where it looks like he does a lot of his work. So we're kind of seeing all the stuff that he has. I don't know. Hey, G.I. Jetman, I hope for your sake that you don't have Jeremy as a friend, because Jeremy would not be happy with this Televiper right here, because that is not how he remembers his Televiper back in the 80s. Ronnie Trickshot jumping in here saying, sorry, I'm late, punk. I have been working hard. And you're laughing. You're lying. And it looks like there's a custom Stinger back there with some yellow, some nice yellow rockets on it and everything. So I think that looks pretty good. You got a lot of little customs in here, don't you? But yeah, I wasn't able to go through every single picture. I just kind of scrolled through them, but I didn't pay a lot of attention to it. So, but yeah, those look actually pretty cool. And then here we have more Joes. Sergeant Slaughter, this Sergeant Slaughter behind Flint here, it reminds me of that meme of the Undertaker standing behind AJ Styles. You guys know what I'm talking about. Jeremy really hates. No, wait. I take that. Jeremy doesn't hate diversity, because when Jeremy got called a racist, he proceeded to tell us all his favorite Joes that were black. God, I wish that thread still existed. I wish that thread still existed. So anyway, here is again, all of G.I. Jetman's collection here. And again, you can see he's got a good amount of Joes right there. A nice Checkpoint Alpha. I need to get a Checkpoint Alpha. I don't know what I'll do with it. I don't know where I'd put one. I'm actually surprised I haven't asked anyone to make me one. But yeah. Matthew, you fucking screenshot everything else. How the hell did you not screenshot that? Because that was one of the greatest threads of all time on Facebook. Jeremy trying to explain how he's not racist was awesome. Because he did not help himself at all. All right. So here we have it's got the Christmas tree up there. There we have and look at all these people that aren't using stands. I'm very proud of people for not using stands. But there you have the Dragonfly right there. And then we get to his little Marvel collection, which he has a good amount of Marvel here. Is there a good beast? So you have that beast right there. A beast up there. It is time for a nice, good. I think a good maximum beast is. I think a good maximum beast is just. We're asking for one. Yeah, most people agree with that. So. And here's another shot of some more Marvel Legends right there. So. And then we get the Viper Scout. Now again, Eduardo. I don't know. I just like saying Eduardo. You sent me some, and then you sent me more, and I got kind of scared. But I'm glad you kept it to just a few. But here we go. Eduardo in all of his pictures, or all of how he displays everything. And again, if you ever watch, if you're part of, if you're a channel member, when you're watching us on Punk's Pit, a lot of times you'll see the stuff in the back. So, but here we see now, again, if you don't know, Viper Scout is a mostly 1/18th guy at this point. So he's got a lot of O-rings. We can kind of see Megatron back there, the Transformer Megatron, which I think is actually really cool. But yeah, here's his Power Rangers. I gotta say, like, most of these are G.I. Joe. I try not to be a full-on G.I. Joe collection, but it was nice seeing some people that, they're into other things too. Because, again, I like to see Joe collectors that aren't just Joe collectors. And then we have our nice Voltron, some Transformers, and if I am correct, Viper Scout is a mix of Viper Scout is a mix of in-box and out-of-box. I have a couple things in-box, but I think I think most people know that almost everything that I have is out of the box. It's hard to do reviews of shit that's in the box, right? And this is very impressive. I believe this is the last shot that I had up here. This looks like it's ready to fall. It's so impressive, but and I'm sure it's sturdier, but it looks like it's very thin. But look at the tomahawks up there. Oh, tomahawk is so beautiful. Nice rattler there. Absolutely beautiful. And again, there's always different ways to display the stuff. You saw how my stuff was. If you watched my short, some of the stuff they're actually fighting. Other ones kind of look like they're standing. I got some guys that are just standing, unimposing. So I'd love to see what everyone is doing and how they're making things look different. Oh, I have more of his. So more inbox stuff. But again, you can see here, very, very condensed space. Again, space is killing all of us, is it not? So, but there's this Rattler that he got well before me, along with everyone else. There's the, I know people didn't like I know people did not like the HasLab Sky Striker Papan. It was such a nice update. It really was. So there you go. That is some of Viper Scout stuff. And you can see his Transformers and everything right there. And shelf presence saying seriously, that is impressive and scary. I'm assuming you're talking about that. All the O-ring stuff. It is like O-rings are the one thing. Like, I definitely will say, like, if you need to use a stand, I'm never going to criticize you for sure. Wes Prophet. Now, I'm not sure if this was Prophet Director Destro or not. He did not leave a name, so this was the name that came over. So I hope it doesn't bother you that I showed your name. Now he had the dimensions of this, and this is for. He had all the dimensions kind of written down, but these are from Hobby Lobby, I believe he said. And again, when you're looking at 1/18 scale, you can use a lot of things that you can't use a lot of other things, and like stuff like this, I really like. Just a nice, clean display. And it's not overly gaudy like mine is, where I feel like I want to show off everything. This is one of those ones where you walk in and like you see it on someone's wall, or you go in their basement and this is what you see, and like you're looking at it and it's like, this is really nice, clean, and everything. biggest problem with this, I'm going to tell you, Wes, is that you have this nice and clean, but then I can see your wire in the back. You got to hide that wire. No, seriously, this is beautiful, and this is like the only picture that he sent. And you're right; these are for like baseball bats and stuff. But again, this is something that, if this is how you like displaying your stuff, a really easy way to do it. And again, it looks very classy compared to a lot of what we all do. And then we have Jason Salinas. And look at that. The Cobra, I gotta say, for like $50 or whatever that was, that Cobra Commander helmet and the Snake Eyes helmet were well worth it. He has the 3D printed Cobra Emperor, not the YouTuber that hates me, but the Cobra Emperor throne there that we've all 3D printed. We've all 3D printed, myself included. But again, this looks really nice. You can see there's a nice little Cobra display right here. Here's a nice clean, like seriously, like I really like this. Okay, Dark. Okay, that's you. You didn't say who you were. And I looked and I'm like, I don't think this is Profit Director Destro. So I hope it isn't. I hope you're not upset that I used your name. I didn't want to do it and not give you credit. So this is Dark Eons. And look at this nice clean display. A nice light up here, just kind of highlighting everything. And nice use of doing the cards in the background. You see what I mean? Like, nice way to use the cards. They look nice and clean. It highlights it. You even have them offset at times. So, very impressed with that. Big M jumping in here saying, "What's up, Lawrence?" I know Carlos is complimenting the shelves are sharp. I give you that. Not Salinas or not Rachel. This one again. This is hard to be like not be very impressed with. And it's impressive, just the way that you have the Rattler, the Dragonfly. You got a nice stand for the Cobra Claw in the background. This looks really good. It also scares me because it looks like it's one of those really those chintzy shelves, like the plastic shelving that look like those things would collapse. Though I'm looking at them, I think they're much more sturdy than that. I also like how you have the patches in a. Maybe that's what I'll do with my patches that I'll never use anything with. I hate those. And no Jin jumping in here saying hi all. So yeah, look at that. Viper Scout noticed too, man. Look at that. Patches displayed proud like that. So that looks like I haven't seen anyone do that, and I think that's awesome. I like that because it's like you were awarded them. This here, great job with the. I'm assuming there's some sort of blanket in the back or some sort of tarp. However you printed it. I don't know if you have a plotter that you were able to print it, but it's not just that the display looks really nice, but the way your lighting is on it. It really highlights it. So again, this is what I love seeing. Like everyone displays things a little bit different. And again, I think this is what people didn't have it. You don't have a chance to really show this off because very few of us have a lot of collector friends that live by us. So yeah. And like not Rachel is agreeing, man. They dig in the background. Says a reptile background for tanks. Oh, you know what? That's everyone remember that. So next year, when everyone has these exact same ones, you only have yourself to blame. Again, I like these shelves. Like these shelves are really nice. What are these shelves, to be honest? Like, do they come with the lights, or are the lights they can add on to it? But again, everything that you do here is just everything's really crisp. So very impressive with what you're doing. Again, can anyone hear Roman in the background? Like, he's just snoring his life away. Darren says not just the background. He's got moss. Oh yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. A matter of fact, it was Gaines who he posted on Facebook and was talking how like he loves going to the pet store because he starts looking for clearance stuff for the tanks. And I bought some stuff too that you can use. So here we go. Yeah, like you have some nice ideas. And you do a good job of making it so like you can go in and take a picture, and not a picture like this, but an actual shot, and you have everything already there in the background and on the ground. And again, those little things, they add so much. We got Joe Hunter 74 jumping in here saying, hey. And then your Colt Slither is awesome. Like, we all need this. We all need this lighting system up here. That looks awesome. So, Tony's saying diorama shelves are sweet. I'm missing out. Hey, you know what? There may be people that see your stuff and think it's awesome. Just remember that, Tony. People may like your stuff too. Now we get the Evo Dookie. That is a clean. This is a guy that you look at. You look at this and you go, yeah, that guy served in the military. Perfectly clean lines. It's lit up. It's probably dusted fucking perfectly. This is a guy that has served in the military for sure. And that looks sweet. Other than there is no way in hell that Rattler can fly with the wings up like that. But again, this looks awesome. Just very nice and clean. Again, the way the lights hit and everything. I know mine doesn't look like that shit. But again, I also like how everyone has something a little bit different. And then here's his little dreadnought display here, where it looks like they're busting in. Get the little tricycle there. This is awesome, man. This is awesome. Yeah, Beardy McBeardison says, no carpet, no camo carpet. But yeah, this is nice. Once again, look, I see Naga hide. Anyone have an extra Yabu, please send it my way. And this is, again, this looks amazing. This looks absolutely amazing. You gotta love the video game in there. Quick kick and bazooka in the background. I disagree with Sergeant Slaughter. No one would listen to him. Although there is some guy in the community. He does a show with my moderator who thought that Sergeant Slaughter was a real drill sergeant. No, he's just a professional wrestler. But that's it, man. Like, again, this is nice. And this is kind of what I was thinking when I said, hey, send me your stuff. But I'm glad that people went above and beyond. They tried doing something different and they're showing me stuff. So, all of you get to see it. All of you get to see exactly what your cohorts, your, the people in your chat, how they like to do stuff. And we've seen a few clean ones, but I think so far that is probably the cleanest one that we've seen. And when I mean by clean, I don't mean like not dusty or anything, but just boom. Tim H jumping in and saying, holy cow, that's art. Again, like you can tell that is a military guy. That is a military guy that did it. So Tony's Fig says, dude, I sent you my shit. What happened? Dude, that's 2 of the fucking 6 slides that I've done. Calm down, Tony. Calm down. All right. God. All right. This next set of slides comes all specifically from one person. I had to delete some of his slides too, because like Darren, he must have got with 3-star drawl and was like, hey, let's see how many pictures Gmail can accept. And that is Beardy McBeardyson. All right. Let's get this all set up. And we had to start with this one because what's the first thing you notice here? That's right. A Punk with Toy sticker right there. Is not pinned, although it looks like it has sticky tack on it because it is bending. But again, yes, I was done with that PowerPoint. Carlos wants to see Tony's Moss Man shrine. It says the answer is 10 to 15 pictures. All right. So here we go. We'll start off with this stuff here. Skydiving. His chute is opening way too late. He's gonna blow up when he hits the ground. Here we have the G.I. Joe headquarters. I know a lot of people got this, and I think it's actually pretty cool to do a display like this. It just sucks that this headquarters that I know a lot of people had printed up is just so tiny, but I think it really works for doing a display like this, where you're able to kind of throw, just a couple figures out there and everything like that. So, and then we get the Rattler. I have to say, when it comes to this Rattler, good Lord, when you put the special, when you put like the missile firing effects, the gun effects, it looks so damn good. This Rattler is really nice. It is becoming my favorite HasLab pretty quickly. Although the Dragonfly is still, it's still right there for sure. But anyway, Clint says Tony did a video of his collection. Don't do his if we get the tight. Don't do his if we get the time. Get tight on time. No, he sent me pictures. It's all in there. Believe me. Believe me, I'm going to show everyone because I spent so much time doing this shit. Liquid Identity jumping in here saying, does anyone put stickers on the Rattler? Looks so much better with some on there. No, I'm not a heathen. This Dragonfly one, you can see that he did some painting onto the Fortnite boat. The Fortnite boat still probably is was the best bang for the buck when it hit Ollie's for $15. If you didn't get it, you should have. But yeah, this actually looks really awesome. I love the snow wall up here. That looks so good, dude. So very impressed with that. Pop Leonard says the Rattler is everything a HasLab should be with the patches, even with the patches. Matthew Matson, I put stickers all over my Rattler. You need at least one of the OG stickers on it. No, you don't. You guys, no, you guys do whatever you want. It's your Rattler. Pinkertons are not coming to pick it up, but good Lord. I'm gonna say right now I had to cut out a lot of pictures. So you got one Valaverse. I think there's only one Valaverse. I had to keep cutting pictures out to get this in. And I wanted to make sure that your collection was represented. So here's your representation of Val. There may still be another one. I don't remember. So here we go. We have another Punk with Toy sticker. I mean, I love seeing those. And again, I have all kinds of stickers. So anyone wants stickers, I still have some left. I think I still have some left from the first Joe Fest that we went to. So there we go. We got this here. You got your little stinger. You got your claw. Your HMS, which looks way too close. I don't think it's actually being towed. Graf says, when is the director's cut of this episode? Punk with Toys dropping. I want to see all the pictures. Dude. Have him send them to you. I got most of them. He has a lot of Star Wars. I had to leave this one on because you have Beardy right here. You have a lot of Star Wars, pictures, and they're all in this vein. This almost looks like it's Hexastack, but I know it's not Hexastack because Hexastack, they never sent anything, or I would have them. A matter of fact, wait, are these Hexastack? Hold on, wait a minute. Wait. Are these fucking Hexastacks, Beardy? You're here right now. Are these actual Hexastacks? Because if you got Hexastacks, I'm wondering why are there not more out there? I had to leave this one in here. I thought you did a really good job with this. Oh, okay. They're Landspeeder Luke files. Okay. So you can just print them up, is what you're saying. So you can just print them up. Okay. I like this. The Stormtrooper. Yeah, your Ewoks here, your Ewok village. This was one of this. Like I was super. I was impressed with this. I really liked it. And then we have Jabba's palace, or all of Jabba's guys here. For the most part, you got Shizor. So again, you had a lot of Transformers, or not Transformers. A lot of Star Wars. I wanted to cut this one as I was trying to figure out to add more, but I'm like, that is an impressive amount of clone troopers. That is an impressive amount of clone troopers. I think even Woody would be impressed with that for sure. Andrew Gogan says the Landspeeder Luke stands are good and they're in a nice variety. Again, yeah, they're stands. Again, the different sides of it, so you can hide or you can put figures behind it. That is what's really impressive. But I like all of this. Like even your display is done really nicely. So, and you have a lot of different versions. Like a lot of different things that you have going on here. But it looks like this is your like little Sith. Your Sith shell, which once again looks very impressive. Like, and then we have poor Luke. Man, Luke looks so bad. But here we have a lot of the original characters, just kind of mix and match together, and a dirty R2D2. So. There's George Lucas as a stormtrooper. I should have bought that figure. I think you can still get it. I guess I really don't want it that bad. Graf says, I see a Schwartz as big as mine. And Joe Hunter says, this is really cool seeing these different types of ways to display. Yeah, that was kind of, again, that was my hope that people would want to like tune in and see something like this. And again, like we spend so much time doing stuff like this, and how many people really get to see it? Very few of us do like YouTube and we'll show it off. So this one I really liked. I like the way you had the vamp here and you got Cover Girl and Clutch working on it, and then you got the tarp over it. The trees look awesome. Like I really need to get some trees, figure out how to make trees. This is really impressive. Like I really like what you did here. And this was like one of the pictures. Like when I knew I had to cut some pictures. Like this was one I was like, I have to keep this one. So again, I love it. Yeah, MCR says I love the camo netting. Krusty Old Crow, love the overhead cam. So another really good one here. The firefighter. You just got to figure out how to make a little bit of fire. But I love the shelves in the background. All right, we see the. If you guys don't know that, that's the actual HasLab Snowcat right back there. He already has it. But I love this. Like all these little things just work together, and you have a firefighter that is, in a house or whatever. But yeah, this is just really, really cool. And that firefighter is such a good figure. It's probably going to be in top 10 of my GI Joes. Just saying. Here's our Dreadnoks. And again, you have the barbed wire fence there. Looks awesome. Looks like you got a little bit like grass coming out of the toxic, the recycling. But I think what you do here, like your stuff is so nice. Because like every display, it was, if I'm correct, I want to say it was Largo who actually mentioned before is like every shelf should tell a story. I don't like, and again, you display your stuff how you want. I'm not saying you display yourself how you want, but I like my figures to be telling a story of some sort. And again, this one is just, again, all your stuff has a story behind it. You even got Beardy painted back there. Is that? Oh no, okay. That is a much smaller 4-wheeler. And I think I've seen other people using that before. Clearly, you did a little bit of customizing to it. But again, look at this. Looks really cool. And again, this type of little stuff here. And extreme sets are nice. I mean, I use extreme sets. But if you don't have stuff that makes it 3-dimensional and stick out, I don't think it does it justice. And your stuff looks like it's, I mean, I'm really impressed with the stuff you have here. That's why I don't mind that you sent so many pictures. Even though I made jokes about it. It's just that. They're jokes. Here's your Crimson Strike team. You even found a purpose for the coil cycle that isn't in the trash. But of all the things that I put on these the pallets, I never thought about putting any of my my cans on it or my barrels. Yet it's like a perfect idea to do it there. But I love the bricks and how everything is done here. Again, this looks awesome. Shelf Present says, I love checking out everyone's shorts and love collection set up on YouTube. I post shorts with my displays. Yeah, no, and again, like that's just it. Like a lot of people never will. A lot of people, they don't do YouTube, and even if they do, it never gets seen. And that's why I wanted to do something like this. It's Toy Talk is kind of slow right now. So this is like the perfect time to do something like this. Clinton Jorgensen says, please keep your cans in your shirt. Depends on what your cans look like. So this is the first time I've seen someone successfully use the back of the box or the side of the box of Cold Slither here. Now, they are smashing their stuff. It looks like, is that a storm shadow of some sort? And then what is Crystal Ball doing? Was he sitting on the back of his jacket? But I gotta say, like, that picture of Buzzer in the back, Like that shot, like him sitting, it looks like he is banging away, and I think it looks absolutely awesome. J. Jetman says, Beardy, all those black barrels from the Dollar Tree, and they had green goo in them. So, and then here we have a the hiss, which barely fits in this. So good job getting that in there. Again, like this is what I think is super cool. Somebody actually successfully used the ladder. I don't know if I've seen any pictures with anyone using the ladder. I don't even know if I've taken any pictures. Wait, he says that's white Pandora with Warpath Eclipse head. Oh, I guess you're right. Kind of looks like Storm Shadow from the movie. Cristobal is leaving his review of Cold Slither. But yeah, this looks really cool here. Good way to use the blast effects. And I gotta say, like, if you don't use the blast effect here for the bazooka, you're missing out. And it works perfect. So, and then quickly, what is this here? Shelf Present saying Shelf Present became a YouTube member, so you know what you're gonna get. You're gonna get a
Welcome to the creamery.
welcome to the creamery. Thank you very much. I definitely appreciate it. Tripwire 78 says my letter doesn't want to move easily. I'm afraid of breaking it. I don't have that problem. Matthew Matson, I know, has that exact same problem. I mean, I can feel like the tension when you're moving it, but Matthew, he complained about that from day one when he got his. So Tripwire, just know you are not, you're not alone. Not alone at all. So here we have our Iron Grenadiers, and I am with everyone else. Scrap Iron is part of the Iron Grenadiers. He's part of Destro's. Maybe not part of Iron Grenadiers, but he is part of Destro's team. Again, looking really nice. And again, I love what you guys. I love this stuff, man. Like, I'm so glad everyone was able to share it. We're able to share it with everyone here. So, no, you're wrong because he worked for Destro. So, yeah, the bricks look awesome. I'm with you now, Rachel. Krusty says, I use my letter constantly. It sticks, but sturdy. Yeah, and Matthew says like he feels like his is going to break. And again, he's not the only person I've heard say that. Here we go here. I kind of understand. It looks like this is supposed to be kind of like Cobra Law, but you have Firefly in there. But hey, you know what? We've run out of space. So here's a nice Serpentor, once a man Cobra Commander. Shelf Present saying Scrap Iron was one of the OG Iron Grenadiers. Look at that. He just became a channel member. What he said goes. So we're all in agreement. Scrap Iron is an Iron Grenadier. All right. I will say this. Like when I try setting up my stuff, I wanted to put all my like Tiger Force together, but I have all the bikes together. And I kind of like the way the bikes all look together. So I didn't put them all together. And yeah, I love your displays. Like all the stuff that you do here. And you know what else? I know no stands. No stands. And you have figures that are on, different levels. Once again, proving you don't need stands. And look, and here's another one of these 3D printed Cobra thrones. Once again, I have it too. And somewhere right now, Mr. Wonderful, his heart is breaking as he sees Hexa stands in print, and they're not his. DL says, no, he is not, never was, never will be. He always made weapons for Destro. So here we go. The regular Joes all kind of stacked together. And this is what I like, how you have a lot of stuff that's in like just kind of like stagnant, kind of like this. And then you have a lot of other stuff that is in displays. They're actually fighting or they're doing something. They're telling a story. Your Mad Marauders, which I can see you have a few right here. Looks like you have a scrap iron in the background. Doesn't look like scrap iron, right? And same time, Toy says, "Who remembers when Major Blood was Destro's lieutenant?" He also has, Destro's logo on his arm. Here's the ninja display. I will say it again. The Akiko is, other than her stupid boots, she's actually a pretty good figure. I know people don't like hearing that, but she's actually a pretty damn good figure. And what is the big circular thing? I was trying to figure that out when I was looking at it. What is the big circular thing that we're looking at, Beardy? Because it was driving me nuts trying to figure out what it was. What it was that I was looking at. Allison says, I have like seven of her from when she got marked down to use for customs. Oh yeah. I think a lot of people Tunnel Red is in there. So it's a big giant tunnel. Okay. So Shelf Present says he was a part of Destro's inner circle from the start. Destro had the Mercs, Scrap Iron, Blood, and Baroness. See, I'm on board with that. But Blood can be the person that kind of, hey, he's sell his soul for anything. A Mario pipe. Where did you get a Mario pipe from? But where do you get it from? All right, and then we have another collection of Star Wars. You have a nice collection of Star Wars. There was a bunch of Valiverse stuff in there. Like I said, I had to cut things out because I'm out. Literally, this is the end of the slide. This is the end of everything. So of this, not the end. I still have 3 more PowerPoints to get through. So. But I need a quick breather just so I can sit back. So what do you guys want to listen to? I know Tony would love to hear. I know he'd love to hear Moss Man, but you know what? We're going to step back for a second and we'll just do the...
Let me tell you something, Big Gene. So I'm sitting at home Monday night and I get this DM from some guy named Tony, Legend Series. And he says, what you doing, Hawkster? I said, I'm watching Monday Night Raw. What are you doing? He's like, you got to turn on this thing called Monday Night Toy Ramblings on YouTube with this punk with toys. He's talking about you. So I want to turn on over and hear what this fool was talking about. And I turn it on and all I hear him say is that he was at WrestleMania 3 with 93,173 of his best friends. And he was there when he watched me pick up that big, mean, ugly giant. And when I slammed into the ground, he said he felt the Silverdome shake all of Pontiac, Michigan. It shook. And then that's when I realized that this guy... him and all his punkamaniacs that are running wild every Monday night, that it is the best thing going in Michigan that's ever happened. Maybe the best thing ever on Monday night. So, if you're sitting here right now and you're not paying attention, a Punk with Toys, Monday Night Toy Ramblings, this guy will talk about everything. And it doesn't matter what you do. You can buy your subs. You can hit him with fake copyright strikes. He's coming after you if you get on his bad side. So what you're gonna do when Hulkamania, when Punkamania, when they all run wild on you?
That was made for Legend series. I wasn't making a commercial for myself. So just so everyone knows. Hey, I was there. I don't know if I've told you the story. I was at WrestleMania 3. Although Hulk Hogan, before he died, I thought it was the Superdome when he talked about it and had it completely screwed up. All right. Oh no, actually called the Superdome the Silver Dome, and they drove people nuts. Anyway, the next set of slides, Tony's figs. So now you can stop crying, Tony, because your pictures are here. I kind of hope that I kind of hope at this point that the PDF completely fucked it up and it's on its side. All right. So here's Tony. Here is his dreadnoughts. All right. As you can see, he's all in this nice little detolf. He actually has some of the actual weapons. You will see there are some weapons that are not gridiron. He probably cries every time he looks in there and sees a non-gridiron weapon, but hey, whatever. This, so here's Tony. So this is Tony's figs. This is his stuff, and I know he hates me. But I'm gonna do all of the Tony stuff here. Punk said, "Hey, Mossman, do you want to do Tony stuff?" And like, yeah, he's like, "Oh, hey, like Frank Demunia, a Punk with Toys and Ramblers." Okay, so let's see what else does Tony have. So Tony here, like he has he has some Marines down here. There's Kung Ho, and then we have Sergeant Slaughter, and then he has the General right there. But then he has a little short. Look, that looks like Punk with Toys right there. Is that Lawrence right there? I think that's Lawrence. Yeah, he's standing in there. You can see how short he is. So yeah, you know that's him. That's not Leatherneck. Okay, I couldn't do that for a whole show. I can't do that whole show. Man, oh man. Triple H says Punk should have photoshopped the Moss Man in the background. God damn it. I wish I would have thought. I was in a time crunch, all right? Anyway, as you can see here, due to diversity and Tony hating it, he did put the blacks at the back of the bus. I don't know why he would. The whole diversity thing is, I blame all on Allison. All right. But anyway, here's another detoff of Tony. Anyway, he also does collect other things because Tony was like, "No, I only collect G.I. Joe," and then I'm like, "Sure you do, sure you do." So he got these the turtles with, is that April O'Neil? Because that is awful looking. But Casey Jones is right there. You got the little rat right there on top of his NECA display, which is still one of the best deals you can get. Just don't get the layer. And here's his ever amassing Marvel Legends. And Tony is definitely limited in space, or else we'd see a lot more. But I believe this. What do you call this, Tony? Like, what do you consider all of these Marvel Legends figures? They're the grounded guys, except for Deadpool. He's not grounded at all, nor Spider-Man. Yes, I did. Yes, I did, Ed. I did. I totally said it. Stark Rose jumping in here saying, "Hey, strong band. I love your '80s sheer costume." Marvel Knights. Okay, I don't think, is that what you call them? Yeah, they're the ground level guy. Whatever. So here we have our Cobras, more or less more Cobra commander, not commander, but the command crew. Of course, he has to have a hooded one. I won't make any more jokes about having a hooded. Yeah, I should probably check and make sure I'm still live. All right. So here we have Tony with his hiss. Tony, how did you ever get that Wolverine? Is there a story behind getting that Wolverine? Then why? Well, I guess the dragonfly is not flying by itself. It just doesn't have a gunner. But as you can see, he has his pimped out vamp right there, and then he has his fake awe striker. Yes, you won that. I hope we never get a hooded Cobra Commander, and I just love, I love drinking the tears of angry, angry Joe fans. Yes, it was a rigged contest. Tripwire said, "I wanted that, but congrats. It looks great." If you guys don't know, there's 102 people watching. When I did the Black Friday giveaway, I'm gonna let you guys in on. I'll go back really quickly here. You see this Wolverine, this 3D printed Wolverine. So I was given one by Plastic Fantastic, and he said, "Hey, I want to give you one for your Black Friday giveaway." And I just happened to be on the phone with Tony before I went and did the Black Friday giveaway, and I'm like, "Hey, just want to fucking come on?" Now he was in twice because in the wheel of names, if you put your name in, you got it. And if you're a channel member, you're automatically on it. So Tony's on it. And so Tony's on with me. I'm like, there's no way there's 170 names. No way that it's going to land on him. Sure enough, it lands on him. And he was like, and I'm like, all right, well, do you want it or are you going to pass? And he didn't want it because it wasn't this. It was the other. It was something else. It was what was it? I think it was the tiger claw or something like that. And then when he spun again, it landed on his second name. And when I actually brought Tony on, because we just happened to be on the phone, I was like, "Hey, why don't you just come on? There's no way you're gonna win, let alone win twice." And he won twice in a row. And man, and Tony's name gets drawn 20 times in a row. It wasn't 20, it was 2 times in a row. The tiger paw. But Tony, being the good guy that he is, he turned them both down. He said nope, and he let it go. And due to Plastic Fantastic being an amazing guy, and even my buddy Greg reached out and said, "Hey, I'll print you one up if you want," because Tony did win it. That's how Tony got one. Anyway, back to his Marvel Legends. Here are his Avengers. I just want to tell the story just because I feel like I'm going to run out of time or something. And here are his Marvel vs. Capcom. Tony is a very he likes to have teams together for sure. And then here's his whole shelf or his whole case, all blacked out. No, it's not blacked out, but it does look really nice. Although I think he said there's like, didn't you tell me there's like 2 pieces in the back? Maybe there's someone else I was talking to. They said something fell in the back, and they're like, "I know where it's at." It just drives me nuts. So, hey, well, how do I get this again? Oh, and here's his Justice League where he has become a huge person in the McFarlane community now, because he's gone in and fixed every single one of the McFarlanes because they're never the same scale, the right scale. Some of them are way too tall, some are way too short. They're not the right colors. So Tony goes in and fixes everything that he does with McFarlane, which just kind of makes me laugh. We have Toyo Low 4x4. What a great story. I don't know if it's a great story. It's a story. It was fucking hilarious, though. All I know is that everyone that was watching it was like, "This is," and there's no way for us to rig it. There was no way for us to rig it. But man, was it funny. Beardy, look at all the glorious pins. Okay. Okay, here's Len fucking S's stuff. Len fucking S, you better still be here. So yeah, I put it there. Len has a nice clean design here. He doesn't have the big desk. Now, Len does have stands. It makes me feel that triggers me right there. I should have the trigger warning right now for seeing all those stands. Because you don't need them. But anyway, he's got his vamp down there. He's got his vamp, his stinger, a little bit of gridiron, a little bit of gridiron there. So, yeah, every stand. They're not even all the same. They're all different. See, look, Tony wants everything to be easy. Well, I wanted them all sent in. I wanted them sent in by yesterday. Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably gonna do it again, maybe for the 36 hours streamathon. So just kind of be on the lookout for it. I'll do something like this similar later on. So here we have all his Joes here without stands. I like this one a lot more. Just because there's no stands. And the junkyard here, Black Widow gets thrown in there. Such a good figure. And then we got his Dragonfly. Dude, I love the Dragonfly. I feel sorry for anyone that doesn't have the Dragonfly that wants it, because the thing is fucking awesome. Garaf says, Stan's looking so good there. No toys on the floor. Hey, I have no toys on my floor either. So, God, you got a lot of stands. I didn't see all the stands, or else I might have left out Len fucking S. Scrivenich. Len Scrivenich. I think I got it right. I'm not even looking at it right now. That's all off the top of this noggin right here. All right. And then here's kind of showing that, he still has a lot of them still in the box, all kind of marked. Again, it's difficult. And again, this is a lot what I was looking for, is like how do people display things in other ways, right? And then here we have a lot of Cobras. It is hard to argue with any of these colors that everyone does. Man, they really do pop. These figures, man, this is why it's why they're better than the O-rings. There, I said it. Toyo says, so what you're saying is you love stands and we should all put in our displays. You should. And then here we have like this little cutout, just kind of showing what he did, where he kind of cuts things out. And you can tell he has like this little cutting table. So he does a little bit of customizing for his own little thing. So, and then we have another one. Again, some motorcycles. Just a nice little mix and match with everything. And then Eric Thurman. Whew. Wow. This might be 6 hours, Matthew. All right. You gotta love. He's got this Detolf here, and he has Alpine in the corner climbing up it, which I think actually looks pretty damn cool. But he does have a lot of them kind of again, this is where you run into space, and when you see everything that's going on, you have to do what you have to do. And this is probably the best shelf that he has. Awesome sticker there. Awesome little grenade. I mean, come on, dude. That's like awesome. How can you not think this is not the best shelf that he must have? You have Big Boa working out right there. So again, all looking really nice here. And this nice shelf. And I gotta give you credit, man. Fitting everything into that small of a section is hard. I use like bigger shelves. I mean, you guys have all seen my stuff if you see my shorts. It's hard to even fit all that stuff in there. And nice utilization of the top for sure. And here you can see a better look at it. That Raptor is so good. It really is. And I'm going to tell you, I love displays when you have something like the rockets from the Rocket Blaster or Raptor's wings, when they hang out past the shelving. There's something about that I just think is awesome. I just think that's super fucking cool for some reason. And then we got our Dragonfly. Look at that. This is the first Robo Skull that we have seen so far. I've seen a lot of ramen stuff, but man, first Robo Skull, which is such a good ass vehicle. It is something very special. And then we have our Joes all in that nice little section right there. So, Robo Skull for the win. I still like the Dragonfly more, but that's not a knock on. And I know I had this discussion with Ken from Toy Connections, and I'm like, I disagree. I mean, I think the Dragonfly was the toy of the year. MTC. Now, MTC was one of my first guests on Thursday with a Friend early on, and he only sent a few pictures, but he has like a whole game room. He had a huge Transformers collection, and I think when I had this idea, this was more of what I had in mind. And again, I'm not going to complain about what anyone sent, because I'm happy that anyone wanted to participate in this and just kind of show off their stuff. But I think his stuff is really cool. He's a huge video game guy. So you have all this kind of sitting right here. I love the way this is one of those things where I don't like displaying stuff like this, because I like having like these action shots, but I also have this really weird love for seeing people that have this nice, clean look to it. I think it looks so good. It's not what I want for my collection. And there are some times that I'm looking at all of my stuff and I want to do that. So, I really like what he did here. And again, if you go back and you watch that Thursday with a Friend, he takes a walk through his game room, and it was awesome. No, Matthew, believe me, I spent all the time cleaning everything. And there's a lot of cleaning to do in the G.I. Joe room, I can tell you that much. And Darren, you're right. Action shots are great if you've got the space to not risk severe domino effect. Well, yeah, again, just stand them properly. And then here we have a nice little shot of the game room. We got the Pac-Man carpet right there. This is one of those things you walk into and you're like, this is beautiful, right? This is absolutely beautiful. So I love this. And again, I remember him walking us through it on his Thursday with a friend. And a lot of stuff has changed since then. I know with his stuff. So yeah, he was a huge Transformers guy. And he said, I changed things out so much it just doesn't stay. But it's always there. So there you go. A little bit more of his collection. And you gotta love the lights on it. And again, this is what you call utilizing the space, in to the best effectiveness, right? It's difficult. It really is. All right, RCD. All right, I don't know who this person is, but they do watch the show, so I was cool. And has a very clean looking collection here. So let's check this out here. Now again, I didn't have a name, and I'm like, no, that was his YouTube name, but I don't remember seeing him. So if you're here, or maybe you just watch it on the replay, I don't know. Here you go. I'm hoping you're getting to see all this. But this is what I'm talking about, like a clean stuff that I have a hard time doing all my stuff like this, but I think it looks so good. And he has a lot of space here. Like this big table here. We have this nice diorama going on. And then you have all the stuff in the background. It kind of reminds me of like an old video game store. Like when you're looking at the back and the way all that stuff is. All that black is a dust magnet. Yes, it is. And this was another one where I think I had to try and get rid of some pictures, but I kept looking as I'm scrolling through. I'm like, dude, this is such a good picture. This is a good picture. I love. I mean, look at all the Steel Brigade figures that he has. The them taking flight and everything. But I really liked everything that we saw here. And again, this is cool because he has a table that I'm assuming he probably changes out from time to time. And then he probably puts everything back, which is annoying. It's such a pain in the ass and such an annoyance to take shit out and redo. But I love that, you see stuff like this. And again, very nice, very clean. I almost went into a NoFX song, very Hispanic. Woody says, I'm done playing. I'm getting close. But man, I'm not going to make this. I didn't know if this was going to go all the way. I had no idea. Woody did not. But you know what? Again, I think there's going to be more to do for sure. So here we go. As you can see, all this stuff right here. His Iron Grenadiers. He forgot to put scrap iron in his Iron Grenadiers. That is for sure. A lot of Star Wars in the box. Again, looking good here. Another Cobra Throne. If you guys don't have a Cobra Throne that's 3D printed, how? It's like the easiest thing to print. So if you have a 3D printer, you should have printed one up yourself. And it's super easy to paint all the Cobra symbols. And if you don't have a 3D printer, I'm sure you can find someone that can easily print this up for you. Like one of the easiest things, and nothing goes wrong on it. All right. Jay Astro jumped in here with some pictures. Jay Astro, I hope you're still here. Viper Scout says, I like changing my ARH setup to try to do it twice a year. Twice a year is one thing, right? It's the people that change it around all the time. Like, wow, it is so much work. All right. If you guys don't know Jay Astro, you need to be following him on Instagram. Unfortunately, he lost his Instagram, so he had to start all over. This guy does amazing photography. So this is what he sent me over: shots of his display. Nice bright lights, kind of highlighting everything that he has. You can see your GI Joe, your Cobra. Again, bookshelves are the absolute best. You can kind of tell a lot of people see me as a GI Joe channel. SCS Dog says, I don't have one of those thrones either. I don't know how, dude. It is like the easiest thing to 3D print. So if you have a 3D printer, it's like the first thing you probably, when you're trying, like, hey, can I do this? Everything's like straight lines. It's super easy to paint. Even I printed one up. It's that easy. I don't know. Here's his monkey wrench. I think that these figures in the back may actually be my old figures. I think those may actually be my old figures. I can't remember, to be honest. But anyway, monkey wrench there with some Valaverse figures. Actually, I know these are mine because that's also something else that I sent to him. Now that I'm looking at it, wait a minute. There's a few of those things. All right. And here is Phantom of the Opera. I don't know why I'm looking at a little plant. He says also have several more bins and boxes not pictured here, full of Marvel Legends stream. And this is kind of what I was asking, like, hey, how also do you show your stuff, right? Because a lot of stuff gets packed in bins, or they're inbox collectors. Some of them are just kind of, in storage units. So this is all the type of stuff that I was looking for. 3-star says, do they have Punk written on it on one of the feet? I don't think I did. Izzy says, my wife calls my dial setup scenarios. Oh, that's a nice way to look at it. And on cue, look at this. I'm assuming this is you, Israel. You sent me 3 pictures, and they were all the same picture, just different angles. And in all honesty, I couldn't fit any more on the slide. I was able to get this one, but this hit everything. This is so good. A matter of fact, I'm going to quickly do this just so we can kind of see everything. I guess it doesn't really show that much here. But this looks really good. You have the hiss inside here. This dial looks amazing. You got the dragonfly up there. So clearly this thing is fucking sturdy. And I love the sandbags. I love this castle. He was the one who just sent this in shortly before I went live. Probably around maybe 4 or 5. I don't remember. This is awesome. And you only, like I said, you sent 3 pictures and they were all pretty much the exact same picture. This was the best one. And I was just like, dude, this is fucking awesome. I wanted to see more of this. Yeah, look, SCS Dog says that's a crazy setup. Yeah, Matthew says, wow, I need that caster for my gargoyle. You know what? That would be perfect for the gargoyles. 3-star here agreeing. That's a fucking awesome. How big is that castle? Well, you can look, you know how big the dragonfly is. So, again, you send in one picture, you're already getting more compliments than everyone else. Yeah, look at, launching the missiles at the dragon. This is awesome. I have to put a cutoff on when people send stuff, when I've done stuff before and I try to send stuff at 8 o'clock, and I'm like, dude, I can't put your name in for the wheel of names anymore. This one was so good. I'm like, there's no way I can. And it was only one picture that I had to. So thank you very much. This thing, I seriously knocked it out of the park with this. Woo! All right. I got 2 more sets of slides. We've gone 3 fucking hours. I got to wake up in the morning, got to get a girl to school. I got to go to work. Then I got to come back, do the circle of jerks. Woo! All right. So, the third guy that loves taking pictures of his own stuff is this guy. Crusty old crow. Not Crusty Crow. Not Old Crow. Not Krusty. But Ryan Crusty Old Crow. And mind you, he just moved into a place, so he's still in the process of doing stuff. And a lot of times you see his stuff on his show, but he said, he made some changes, and he goes, "Oh shit, it only added 1 picture." Well, that's bullshit. Well, Krusty, I apologize. It only added 1 fucking. Hold on. This doesn't make me happy. Because you had a whole bunch of pictures and it only did 1. I don't know why. StreamYard sometimes does that. So I got to re-add these. Hold on. We'll move on to the next. Let me get this thing going here. Let's hope display 3 works. We'll come back to Krusty's stuff. So we will jump to Boba Fett 1975. Now, quickly, I was born in 1975, and my old screen names and everything used to be Boba Fett, including my license plate on my old car. Anyway, so here's Boba Fett 1975. I think we see him a good amount in the chats. So here we have another nice clean display, lit up really nicely in these little boxes. Lights are so important. I need to do better lighting. I need to figure out how to do better lighting, get all that stuff in. But again, I think this looks really, really nice. I love what he did here. Here's some Star Wars stuff. You got your G.I. Joe on the bottom. Clearly, he plays PlayStation. PlayStation 5 is what I would assume here. But you got your R2. Looks like he's a Star Wars fan, right? I mean, his name is Boba Fett. Yeah, I'm with you. Like, the lighting is awesome. And it looks like when it converted, it fucked up some stuff too. StreamYard does some weird ass shit. Wow, that's fucked up. I don't know why I did all this. Because they do it all separately too. Damn it. Well, I apologize, Boba Fett. I am aggravated. I am truly aggravated. We're going to remove this here. And I'm going to try and re-upload these slides. Because they shouldn't look like this. That was display. Let's see. I know this is amazing. You're like, God, this is riveting to watch you do this. So let's try Crusty Old Crow again. Do we have more than... Okay. All right, so we have more than 1 here. Now let those other ones process. So we're back to Crow. I know you guys are like, holy shit. Crow has spent a lot of time building this stuff up. Tripwire says it's because they're holding the phones in landscape. When they no. I went through them all to make sure. They're all like condensed. It might be because he's Canadian. But this is a nice display. I know he's worked pretty hard on this before. It looks like it should not have, none of this stuff came over like this. Well, we'll skip that one. Sorry, Crow. You got 1,000 pictures anyway. So once again, here's another nice display of all his different stuff here. He has like his crow in the background. He's got a nice cage over here. You got, again, this looks really good. I mean, I like what he does here. He's telling a story in all of this. So none of this should have been like this because I don't remember any of this being processed like this. So I don't know why it did this. So if I look on this, I can't do that. Here's another shot of it. You might have changed everything, and when I transferred it, I didn't see it. That's the only thing that I can guess because it's not condensed, but I don't know. Anyway, here you have a nice dial. Everything that's he does a wonderful job. You can watch his YouTube channel. If you're not following him, you should be. He does awesome work. He's also in Canada, so he gets some stuff a little bit early, and sometimes he gets stuff a little bit later. So then we have our dreadnoughts. You can even see right in the background. I know he told me about. I think he told me about this truck in the back that you can pick up really cheap. And again, it looks like it's just kind of been sitting there. And this is awesome. Then we get our hiss. That looks like it's in getting some sort of maintenance done to it. And I actually have someone else using the ladder right there. Again, all of this is really good. And again, all the caging on the bottom to where that thing's kind of lifted up. It looks awesome. Like this is very impressive. Jad Jetman agrees. Your dials are awesome. We got our Crimson Twins with some dancers in the background or something. Dr. Mindbender. Wait, is he like getting a BJ or something? Like, why is his like legs? I don't want to know. I don't want to know what Mindbender is doing, but good for him. Okay, come on. Now this is just messed up. This should not be like that. Here's his Delta 17. All right, with a nice use of whatever you used in the background, which I think does look pretty damn cool. In Delta 17, if you haven't picked any of the stuff up, again, Steve and Ken are friends of ours, but their stuff is really good to in general. Yes, they were dancing on the ceiling. Yeah, this one is Australian. Alex S jumping in here saying, evening everyone, hope you all doing well. Sorry I'm so late. Hey, never apologize. I'm glad you can tune in and see the end of it, but make sure you go back and watch a lot of great dials from people here. A little bit of Marvel Legends, as I know he has started to accumulate a Marvel Legends collection due to the fact that you start wanting to buy stuff and there's no Joes coming out. So you're like, I need to get stuff. Here's a nice little X-Men display. And again, that Wolverine is awesome. The Cyclops looks great. Gambit is awesome. So really nice display here. Not as involved as our as this G.I. Joe stuff, but hey. And now this is supposed to be like this. This one is supposed to be like this. Spider-Man on the wall. It looks like we have what is that? What's his name? It's not Old Man Logan. It's from Old Man Logan. I can't think of his name. Anyway, you guys can figure out who that is. Hawkeye. That's it. Hawkeye. But yeah, and I like these displays right here. Just these the ladder and everything that you can just hang on the wall and everything. I think look awesome. I don't know why I don't have any. Here's our polar our polar scene breaker has got to be cold, and you do have a nice bear. You know what your bear? I'm just gonna say. You know what your bear is missing, Crow? Mossman. How come the bear doesn't have Mossman? Oh no, that bear doesn't have Mossman. He needs to get a Mossman riding that bear. You know, the Mossman can control that bear. Then they'll have to shoot it, and then the bear can live a good long life. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I entertain myself. So here you can kind of see another Joe collection. There is his Joe Fest exclusive, not Skyhawk, in yellow and black. And I like this display here. You kind of get to see everything that's going on. He's shown me a few things that he's done before, and I think it's awesome. Krusty O'Crow says, we don't need Mossman up here. We do Maple Boy. Everyone needs a Mossman. Especially Tony. Tony really needs a Mossman. And then here is this is the total, like, I'm not going to collect this Street Fighter stuff. And then you buy one, and you're like, damn it, I'm going to buy a bunch of Street Fighter. So here's the Street Fighter stuff. A little bit more Street Fighter and nice scenes. I like the way you have the boxes all set up. Again, it's working with everything, and how the display can be used. And this one's just awesome. Again, I like the way you have all this set up here. And I know you do a lot of this work on your own, and that's what's very impressive to me, because I can't do this stuff. I mean, yeah, I could probably learn it like so many other people. I don't have the patience. So I'm just always very impressed. I'm looking at this, and then this looks like real brick that I see that would be in, in Detroit, in New York, stuff like that, where, it's just completely deteriorating. And that's the end of Krusty O'Crow. Moses Guillen jumping in and saying, I still have those Mossman on deck. Tony, you need one. You need to get a Mossman. All right. We move here. So quickly, we have one more set we're going to get to. But before, I need one more break, and I'm going to do a really, really short one right here.
Oh, hey guys, it's Mossman again.
And Dopey.
No, you're not part of this one.
Okay.
Anyway, welcome back to the Punk with Toys for Tots Streamathon. So this is going on from October 25th through October 27th, which is streaming non-stop. So we've made a whole bunch of money so far to donate for Toys for Tots, but we can still keep going. We still got some time left. So if you want to participate, you can send a super chat or a super sticker, or maybe even consider becoming a channel member. And all that money, Lawrence is going to take that and go to this really cool toy store, Sergeant Red's. He's going to buy toys, and all that's going to get donated for Toys for Tots. But anyway, we still got a whole bunch of really awesome content coming from a lot of great content creators. So let's get back to the show.
All right, so I'm trying to look at this on the bottom, and so this is the end. And unfortunately, it looks like when I created the slides, I must not have went through them. Again, I can only say this so many times.
I don't go through all the graphics before the show.
So I do apologize. It looks like we still have some issues. So we already looked at this. Nice lighting from Boba Fett 1975. I really hate that like some of these pictures did not come out well. We looked at this already, but then we got this. And again, I look here. I looked at these, and I know they weren't like that. But clearly when it transferred over, some of them kind of went awry. For no rhyme or reason. But I don't think it has anything to do with StreamYard because I've reloaded them up. So hopefully, hope you're not upset with me. But here's his nice Boba Fett collection. Or at least part of the Boba Fett. I'm going to assume that a guy that's going by Boba Fett, probably has a fairly big Boba Fett and probably Mandalorian collection. So anyway, there you go. Some more Boba Fett stuff. Man, I hope it's just this. I don't know why all these are like this. I'm very aggravated because I know I had to go through everything and they were not like that. So somewhere along the line of it, Boba Fett game here, it's okay. I know, but it bothers me because like I asked you guys to send the stuff in, I go through the work of doing it, and then find out like this shit. Anyway, here we have some nice. I like the use of this lighting here, and when the lighting's like this, especially in the dark, it kind of gives me that carnival look. It's very dark at night, but you have these types of lights, so. Yeah, I'm going to assume a guy named. Well, with that said, I don't have a huge Boba Fett collection. I told you my screen name used to be Boba Fett. I have 2 different personalized license plates that you've probably seen, like if you ever watch any of my other stuff. So I don't have a huge Boba Fett collection. So, but normally yes. Here's his. Again, a bunch of the carded figures, and I think this is what a lot of people wanted to do with these. And again, it sucks that there was yeah, I know it's not about me, but I was answering a specific question, or not even a question, a statement. But yeah, so it's great that they fixed the card backs on these so people could hang them. It just sucks that they're using that really awful artwork. All right, Commander Unicron. I don't know how you made it. I don't know how you made it. So the Dragonfly, I'm sorry, the Sky Striker looks to be the same size as the Rattler. Because I looked at this picture a few times and I couldn't figure out how the fuck you did that. It's driving me nuts. Also, you have fuel tanks right in the front of the. I know I'm not here to criticize, but you have the fuel tanks in the front, and now that's bugging me. You should have missiles there. You should have I understand it's called perspective. I understand that, but at this perspective, it's like, yeah. Also, I wanted to mention you are one brave soul having one hook. Having one hook hold the Rattler. Just there was that too. So here's your Rattler box that you obviously use as a stand. And again, it's beautiful artwork. It looks like you have a bunch of Baronesses, a lot of female figures up here. You'll get a theme here that he likes jets. He likes aircrafts. And I do have that Sky Striker. I also have a Firebat, the original one. I do not have the Red Rattler. But again, the way you have everything lined up, I love it. So here we have the Hiss box, which supports the hisses, and you have lots of hisses up there. Matthew, are one of those hisses the ones that Emily messaged you about, asking where you got it? Because it looks like the one, I think the one is one of the ones that you have that she was wondering about it. Yeah, I don't know, Allison. Just I don't know. So here we have a couple of the Sky Strikers. The boxes for them. So more Sky Striker. Now this I understand hanging. The Rattler still scares the crap out of me. But there you go. And again, I don't know, it is weird though. That Rattler, I'm sorry, the Sky Striker looks about to be the same size as the Rattler. I know force perspective. I do get it. I love the dropping of the bombs. Like, man, like this looks really, really good. Matthew says one of them looks like the light and sound hiss that Emily asked. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, because that was like it was a different size than the other ones. All right, Jason Bartlett. Now I had to look at this because I'm like, is this Jay Bartlett? But how he started the conversation in the email was like, "Hey, I love your channel. Like, I've talked to Jay. I've been on a show. He's been on mine." All right. So this was Jason Bartlett's here. How he has everything displayed, as you can see. It looks like there's a lot of books right there on the bottom. This is kind of a fuzzy image, but a lot of dials going on, a lot of back and forth. You got the Rattler and the Dragonfly. I just love that everyone's doing this stuff. Like, I know I've mentioned it 100 times. I don't know what else to say, but yeah, this type of stuff is awesome. And again, looking at this, he's running into the same problem that I have. He wants a battle scene, but you're almost making it like a 16th century battle where they're just like nose to nose. But anyway, then we get these his nice cosplay helmets. It looks like he's got all these Marvel books. And again, this is collecting too. It's just not toys. This is also the type of stuff that I want to see and that I wanted to showcase. So, and then again, this is someone who is like, I am out of space. This is all that I can do. And believe me, I've been there. And he's sitting there, he's trying to, condense as much. I guarantee you, this guy walks into his room every single day and goes, I need a bigger place. Him and all of us. So, and then SCS Dog, he sent me these. This looks like his little workshop here. I found this one very interesting, even though it creeps the shit out of me. I think I've definitely talked about the creepiness of Dalsim and his long limbs. And I know Tony right now is getting a good chuckle out of this because I've mentioned him numerous times. I'm assuming that is Snake Eyes looking at Duke and the Scarlet on the computer. So this was interesting. And to me, like, this is like, I mean, honestly, like, this is, doing your diorama, right? But I like this here. I like showing me how you take pictures of stuff. And clearly that's what he's doing. He's highlighting something. I don't have lights like this. This is the type of stuff that I need to start looking into. Like, how the fuck do you do this shit? So, just like this, like perfect shot. You have the Baroness here. Some female. I know. I've seen more than a few people complain about these female troopers. Like, good Lord, man. You people. You people that complain about that. Tell me you're sexist without not telling you're sexist. But a great shot here. And then he gets a lot of breakdancing. And here we have Snake Armor breakdancing. And Dalsim breakdancing. And you gotta love Chun-Li cheering him on. And he was just kind of showing off all of his stuff. And like, this is the type of stuff that I wanted to see. Like, a lot of people don't have everything displayed, especially people that take pictures, right? That are doing their photography. Like, they don't have everything displayed all the time. I'm assuming, my moderator, Ed, he's like that. And here we have a decapitation of a Cobra, a female Cobra trooper, and then one getting shot. So, and then we have the double breakdancing with that's not Jester. Who's the lead? Who's the captain in? Is he captain or is he an admiral in Top Gun? What the hell's his name? I can't think of his name. Yes, the thumbs up. That's what I can't think of what his name is. And then this Viper. How can I not? Like, seriously, Viper? I think you should know that, right? All the G.I. Joe Viper, all the Cobra Vipers. But again, this is not technically like displaying your stuff, but this is what you do with your stuff. And again, this is what I was talking about. And, so a lot of blood here. A lot of blood here. And this one looks good with some hella dope boxes. And clearly it looks like Firefly is about to probably take some of them out. And that's the end. We've actually made it to the end of all of this. Maybe I'll get that off. Woo! Wow. So there you go. That was all the submissions of people that sent in stuff from their displays. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. I just like being able to show off what other people are doing. I mentioned it before. Not everyone has a YouTube channel. Not everyone uses Instagram. A lot of people have Instagram and they don't have a lot of people following, but people just want to show off, and people want to show their stuff off, and they don't always have a chance to. So thank you to every single one of you who sent me stuff in. Thank you to everyone that watched. I am going to get out of here because I have to go to work tomorrow. I have to take a girl to school in the morning. Then I have to go do Circle of Jerks after that. And then who knows what I'm going to do after that. I do a lot of this. So everyone, thank you very much for sticking around for 3.5 hours. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. And I hope this was something different. Just to give you guys something different than just talk about the regular toy news. I mean, it took 2 hours to get through this. MTC says, can we do bonus picks to the dude? Hey, Facebook group. If you're not part of the Facebook group, Punks with Toys, if you're not on it, just answer the questions. Dude, head on over there and put all your picks there. That's what that fucking page is for. It's not for politics. It's not to sell your shit. It's to show off everything that you're doing, right? That's what's awesome. So yes, MTC, please go there. Put the stuff on the Facebook page. I think people would love to see it. Then no one will be asking me to put all that. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Tune in tomorrow, 6:30 p.m., Circle of Jerks. After that, 9 p.m., you got the Toy League Takeover with Mr. Wonderful and Action Figs. And then at 10 p.m., Pop Blender, my other moderator, Matthew Matson. I'm going to get out of here. Have a wonderful night. See you guys all soon.